And that one I actually wasn't even wearing underwear. I just had a piece of latex where a bikini would be. And then pulled down between my legs and then taped to the top of my ass crack. So it was like a sliver of pizza. If you can imagine a sliver of pizza that you put the crust here and you pull the cheese through and stick it to the top, that it was so uncomfortable. Oh my God.
Hey everybody, hope you're having a splendid day. I hope you're not having a piece of latex shaped like a piece of cheese drugged through your ass crack. Welcome to episode 8 of the Andrew Deitch podcast. What a way to kick things off, huh? Well, however you were attracted to my little internet show, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to listen to it, and I hope you are enjoying what I'm putting out there. My guest today is professional dancer, fighter, artist. Well, she's not a professional fighter. She's just a fighter. But she's a fighter, an artist, a world traveler, a model, and athlete, Elizabeth Ward. Elizabeth and I we've known each other for the majority of our lives, over 14 years. And I wanted to have Elizabeth on the podcast because I think she has a very balanced and interesting perspective on life. And she shared many stories with me, including her dad leaving her mom and siblings, her views on college, moving to Berlin, Germany, being a nude body painting model, which you already heard a little clip from, and selling selfies on Instagram. And this was a really long podcast, and we recorded it pretty late. Elizabeth had just gotten back from the gym, and I had just worked out before that too. So by the end of it, we were literally delirious, but we made it through. And I hope that she isn't completely scared away of my podcast being so freaking long. I honestly didn't even realize how long we were going until I looked down at the timer. I'm like, holy crap. This is like 2.5 hours. But I hope you enjoy my conversation with the beautiful and talented Elizabeth Ward. All right, we're live. We're super live. So I'm with my friend Elizabeth here.
Hi.
Elizabeth, you've never done a podcast, right?
Nope, this is my first time.
Podcast virgin.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of people
it.
that I've recorded so far have not done podcasts before, and like they all really liked it by the end. They were like, that was way more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, I'm stoked. I mean, I've listened to podcasts.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and you were saying you listened to my brother and me podcast?
Yeah, I've listened to them. They're really funny.
Cool. I need to check it out. I've heard a lot of good things about them. So, yeah, basically I don't really want this to be like an interview necessarily, but like I'll probably ask you a lot of questions just because you're the guest, so.
Cool.
Cool.
I'm going to talk about myself.
I guess, the main reason why I wanted to have you on the podcast is we've been really good friends for a long time, and I feel like you have an interesting perspective on lots of things.
True. Since like, what, 4th grade, I think?
Yeah, pretty much. So, just kind of like to kind of give some perspective on what you do and who you are. You're a lot of things, but, I would probably say you're a dancer, you're an artist.
Yeah, I guess I primarily identify myself as a dancer. I was a ballerina. I'm not exactly a ballerina anymore. Now I'm more of an athletic dancer. But yeah, I danced.
That's cool.
Ballet for forever, classically trained, danced with the Atlanta Ballet for a couple years, did a bajillion nutcrackers, danced at the Fox, I've danced at the Cobb Energy Center, I've performed in Times Square, I've performed in like all over the place. Now I dance for a contemporary company in Atlanta, a couple actually. We kind of all are just dance sluts. We dance around all different companies.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so I dance all the time. I teach dance.
Dance is life.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I do.
That's really cool. So I've started off a lot of my podcasts recently, with kind of giving a perspective on where you come from and, where you were born and all that kind of stuff. Because obviously when you, go to therapy or whatever, they always want to know about like where you come from and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff, because obviously so much of like who you are is shaped from your childhood and like where you know, your situation growing up and your parents and all that kind of stuff. So
True.
just like give us some context. Where were you born? And like,
I was born in Atlanta, and then I moved to Nashville, and I lived in Nashville, and then I moved back to Atlanta.
I didn't even know you lived in Nashville. How long did you live there?
Yeah, just for when I was a baby.
Oh, okay.
I don't
So
really
you don't
fully
remember it.
No. But, I mean, I do remember when my dad lived in Nashville a couple years ago. Anyways, I moved back to Atlanta, lived in Johns Creek, lived in Norcross, and then moved to Atlanta, and then moved to Germany, and then moved back to Atlanta, and here I am.
There we go. So you know, we grew up going to Perimeter Christian School.
Yes.
And how did, you know, that definitely shaped me in a lot of ways, and like, you know, even ways that I probably don't even recognize today, but, you know, going to like a Christian school and being in that environment for a while definitely gives you a weird outlook on life.
True, yeah.
And I actually don't think I've interviewed or, you know, had anyone on the podcast yet that went to Perimeter with me. I'm trying to think, but besides the church, like, you know, I don't think, you know, anybody's gone to school with
The
me.
actual school.
Yeah.
Man, I went all 8
Yeah.
years.
And like from what I remember when you were in school there, like you were pretty like sheltered and like.
Yeah, well, my situation was weird too because my dad left when I was in 5th grade, so my mom went super crazy conservative church mode. Like, I have to overcome all of these things with my children, so I'm going to shelter the shit out of them and like make sure that nothing bad happens to them. So all of a sudden I went from like normal life with my mom, who was cool and chill, to like, wow, we have to be crazy Christian about everything that we do.
Yeah.
So my mom got super crazy then, but just in like a normal Perimeter way, I guess.
Yeah,
a little
looking
bit on
back
steroids.
on it. Yeah. So like, you know, obviously it's not a fun subject to talk about, but like your parents separated when you, how old were you?
I was in 5th grade when my dad left.
And like, obviously it turned, you know, everything upside down, right?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Well, to an extent, my dad stopped coming home when I was in 2nd grade. So, like, by the time I was in 5th grade, I was kind of like, well, you're not here anyways, so...
Gotcha. So he basically just kind of just slowly fizzled himself out of the picture.
Yeah. He actually started coming around more after he officially left, because then he legally had weekends to spend with us. So he was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And is your relationship, like, good with your dad now, or not really?
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Okay.
Up until recently, I guess, but his wife is crazy and hates me.
Gotcha.
So,
and I've heard some funny stories about like his girlfriends and stuff like that.
Oh God, ridiculous. He's a hoot. But yeah, he was with this woman for like 7 years who was cheating on my mom with. And then he just decided, like, I mean, I met her, I knew her kids, we called each other siblings. And one day he just stopped going back. I mean, he had a house with her in Indianapolis. It was crazy. We went on vacation with them to Arizona. We had a house in Arizona and Chicago. And yeah, we just decided that he wasn't going to go back there anymore.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I was listening to a podcast recently where they were talking about that, you know, like this weird, it's pretty atypical for a mom to leave a family. Whereas like a dad, like it's much more common to just be like,
Never
peace
thought
out.
about that.
You know what I mean? Like it's very, very, very uncommon for a mother to leave like her family.
Yeah.
To even like, I guess it's more common for the husband to leave the wife rather than the wife leaving the husband. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I've really
about
never
that.
thought about that, but you're totally right. I've never.
I think it has something to do with the kids and the childbearing. You know.
Probably.
It's probably much harder to like leave a child that you've birthed. You know.
Most of the time in divorces, the wife gets the kids.
Yeah.
It's like almost
and it's
every
pretty
time.
messed up as far as like the legal stuff goes. A lot of times with divorce, like as far not most of the time, but sometimes it very, very, like you said, heavily favors the woman because even if the woman wants the divorce and all this kind of stuff, a lot of times she still will get the kids, even though the husband is trying to work things out.
Oh yeah, I mean, and even in situations where the dad is a stay-at-home dad and the mom works and there's a divorce, the mom gets the kids.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. I mean,
yeah.
like, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and that's kind of where, a lot of times people will say, that men always have the advantage in a lot of situations, but there are situations, especially and stuff like that, where
in that situation, a female definitely has the advantage.
Yeah, and it is weird how, like, even though children are kind of like a financial burden, you still want them. It's like, I want these kids. I want the custody. They're mine.
Well, the thing that happens is that a lot of times the parents just start fighting over them and using them to, like, get at each other. Yeah. Like, my step-siblings, their mom completely, like, used them to mess up, like, my stepdad's situation. Yeah. So, I mean, the kids turned out awful. Wow. But, the mom just manipulated Chris, my stepdad, with the children and used them. I mean, she brought them into court, which my parents never did. And she would, pin them against their dad and all this crazy stuff. It's
really fucked up.
Yeah.
That's messed up. So I had a podcast with my friend Tyler the other day, and we were kind of talking about this briefly because his parents divorced too. And basically I kind of, like, we boiled it down to kind of just saying, like, yeah, it did suck that your parents separated, and he was kind of like, yeah, we kind of saw it coming. Kind of like you said, your dad was leaving since you were in second grade anyway, so you kind of saw it coming. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it still created some awesome kids, and you're here,
and like my little brother, for example, wishes every year that my parents will get married and, like, still be together. Like, really? He wants that. I mean, he's 17, so I mean, he's still just a kid, but, like, I cannot even imagine my parents together. I'm so glad they're not together. Like, there's nothing in me that's like, oh my God, my parents are divorced, I'm so sad. Like, no, I'm happy that they got away from each other. They didn't need to be together. They were making each other happy. Yeah. Like, it's definitely for the better.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing, especially kind of like growing up, like, at Perimeter and, like, instilling all these, like, Christian values and stuff and saying, like, oh, well, divorce is a sin, it's never right, and all this stuff like that. And then it's kind of messed up where, like, you've been taught that, and then, like, for example, like, at Perimeter, you and your parents get divorced, and it's kind of like, whoa.
Yeah, like, and I'm, like, the only kid in my school with divorced parents. Literally. Everybody has these beautiful families, and then there's me. Like, I didn't even know what divorce was barely. I was like, what?
You're like, what? Yeah, and like, you're right. It is kind of, you get all these cliche, typical families that are, like, these perfect, families that never do anything wrong, and they have the perfect Christmas pictures and, like, all this stuff like that, and, like,
the beach pictures and
the beach pictures. Yeah. Were you, like, jealous of that at all, or, like, not really?
A little bit, I guess, at the time, but my middle school years were so weird. I honestly, I was depressed during them, and this is so strange. I think that I actually mentally blocked them out. Like, I honestly can't remember middle school, barely at all. Like, I've never been able to. Through high school and everything, I don't really know what happened to me in middle school.
That's interesting.
Like, it was rough. I was going through a lot, and I think that my brain just decided to not remember it.
That's interesting.
Which, like, I've never talked to, like, somebody who, like, knows about brain stuff about it. Because I don't know. I could be making that up. Like, that might not be a thing.
No, I feel like that's definitely true. You could be blocking it out.
It's not like anything, like, hugely terrible happened to me in middle school other than my parents getting divorced, but the way that I handled it was just not handling it. Yeah. And because of that, I barely remember any details. I, remember going to DC in 8th grade. Yeah. And I remember Mr. Bennett. My science teacher.
Yeah, he was awesome.
And I don't know. No, he got mad at me for sneezing in class. It's like, fool, I have to blow my nose and sneeze. And he sent me out of class. That's all I remember about that.
That's hilarious. Yeah, looking back on it, I don't remember too much about middle school, to be honest, either. Like, I remember bits and pieces and, like, highlights, but, like, it's a weird time. And looking back on it, I was the weirdest kid fucking ever. Like, why did I not get punched in the face every day?
That was me.
Like, legit, though. Like, I don't know. I was just such a turd. Like, looking back at, like, my old Facebook pictures and posts and stuff, I just want to punch myself in the face, literally. But
like, what were you thinking?
But anyways, to move on, but so then we went to Norcross, And
Yeah.
that's like
Culture shock.
we went from the most sheltered school to the most
50 kids in our class.
literally 50 kids, and then we went to
Like 1,000 kids in our class.
1,000 kids in our class, very extremely diverse.
Yes.
Perimeter was
Not the
basically
majority.
100% white people.
Yeah.
And then going
Our
to a
class
school
was like
that
Hispanic, then Black, then white, then
yeah,
Asian.
yeah, then like Asian, Indian, everything else, and so very diverse. For me, it was a very big shock, and like my freshman year, I was still kind of in that prude perimeter mode,
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
and I didn't, I was very shocked to find out that people were like having sex and people were.
The fact that I didn't have to wear a uniform to school, I was like, "Whoa, I can wear real clothes.
I can
what
wear
is
anything?
this place?"
Yeah, what? Yeah, and no amount of really preparation could prepare for that. But yeah, so that pretty much kind of, and you were dancing the whole time too, right?
Yeah, so I was actually super uninvolved in Norcross because of that. I mean, I went to school every day and then I went to dance every day. So like, I wasn't involved in sports. I did student council, but like, was
whatever.
heavily uninvolved.
Same.
During lunch, I would do homework instead of eating lunch, and then I would eat my lunch throughout the day so that I wouldn't have to do homework after school, because then I would be dancing after school.
Makes sense.
So I didn't talk to people. I just did work at school and then danced after, and went back and forth. And
That's
that was
funny.
my high school.
Yeah, I definitely. The first couple years, I was always like hanging out at like Johns Creek or Northview and stuff because like all my friends were at those schools from perimeter, so it's weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, to kind of move on from high school though, I feel like definitely you changed a lot from perimeter to high school for sure.
Yeah.
And in a good way and in a cool way, because I think that like, I don't know, just my image of you from middle school was very like, I don't know, very like you would be shocked like if you found out someone was like doing something crazy, like oh my god, they're smoking weed, like
exactly.
You would like freak out like oh my gosh, oh no, what, like that kind of thing. What is that? Oh my, what?
That's doing how it was when I got to high school in freshman year.
Yeah, literally. What? They're doing what? Like that kind of thing, which is
Sounds
funny.
Exactly like.
And your mom was still kind of crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh my
throughout.
God. She stole my phone because a guy texted me. He texted me asking me to a movie, and told me the text specifically said, I remember this. Do you want to go to a movie with me? ... Dark smiley face. My mom saw the text, took my phone for 6 months. I had my phone taken away for 6 months and texting taken away for a year because this guy wanted to take me to a movie and I didn't tell her about it. I didn't even go to the movie.
Yeah, obviously. That's so funny. I was just thinking about also another interesting thing that I do remember about high school too was that there was a lot of guys that were like obsessed with you.
Yes, that was the thing.
Because also like,
I was the new girl.
You were the new girl. You came from a different school.
Yeah.
And I remember that you were like not ready for that kind of attention.
No.
I just remember
because I've been
thinking
the same
that.
people for 8 years, so none of the guys paid attention to me because I had been like awkward and weird for 8 years of life.
Yeah,
and those were the only guys that I knew.
Yeah, and like like you said, just kind of being an awkward, weird person, and being at perimeter, just like it's just weird. But then when you went to Norcross, it was like, oh my gosh, who's this new girl?
Yeah, and all of a sudden, like, older guys started wanting to talk to me, and I didn't know what to do. And so little old me is like, okay, sure, I'll be friends with everybody.
Yeah, that was definitely the mentality that I got from you. It was like,
yep.
Oh, this guy's really nice. Like,
I'll just talk to anybody.
Yeah, he wants to like take me out to dinner. Like, sure, yeah, that'd be so fun.
I like food.
Yeah, and just like so not realizing the intentions of what
completely oblivious, which, to be honest with you, I still get that. Like, I'll have people do things and I'm completely oblivious of it. Much better now, but just in a different way.
That's funny. That makes sense. Like, it's very, I'm sure that was a weird transition.
Yeah.
Especially being hit up by like older guys that,
Oh yeah, those 15-year-olds,
Yeah.
16-year-old, sorry. I was 15.
But seriously, like, very strange and very... High school was weird. But, so yeah, so you kind of, like, moved on from that, and then you went to college, right, for a little bit? You
Yeah, I got into tech, got academic scholarships, and was like, fuck this place. I'm going to be a dancer. So I went to Georgia Perimeter instead of Georgia Tech and danced with the Atlanta Ballet.
Nice. And so, like, what were you going to school for? I don't even know.
Oh my God, finance. It was miserable and I hated it. And I was going to be an engineer. Then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll be finance. So then I went to Georgia Perimeter for 3 years. It's 6 or 7 semesters there. For finance, I mean, I had so many, like, stupid credits from high school, from AP and IB and all these stupid tests that I took. Went to college, did all of this stuff. I have no degree in anything at all. Because I realized that there's nothing that I wanted to do that
required it.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I still sometimes think back and, like, I wasted money, I wasted time. But the way I see it is if I go back and I finish my classes for a degree that I don't want, then that's just more wasted time and more wasted money.
Exactly. It's like if you're trying to get yourself out of a hole, the first step is stop digging.
Yeah, well, the thing that happened to me is that I was trying to put 100% of my life into dancing with the Atlanta Ballet. Then I was trying to put 100% of my life into being a finance major. Then I was trying to put 100% of my life, 85% of my life, into working and being a nanny. So I was trying to be a full-time nanny, raise these 2 children whose parents were just crazy, and dance at the Atlanta Ballet every day, and then also go to school every day. So I'd wake up at 6 to go to 7 a.m. Calc 2 class, to drive straight to the Atlanta Ballet, be in class, go to rehearsals, then go to school at night.
So you're just dying.
Yeah, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, be with babies.
Be with babies.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was kind of relaxing. Kind of, maybe.
Kind of, except for, I don't know.
Stressful?
Yeah, it just depended on the day, to be honest.
Yeah. So what motivated you to be a finance major? Or, like, was it your parents that wanted you to go?
Yes.
Your mom?
I'm unfortunately very good at math. I wish that I was not. But
Because you got into Georgia Tech. I mean, obviously you're smart as shit.
Yeah, I was just really good at calculus. And I like calculus. And so they were like, you should do number things because you can memorize anything and you're good with crunching numbers.
Did you have Coach Teeple as a teacher?
No, never.
Okay, you know what's so crazy? So today at work, his twin brother was at my work today.
Are they identical?
They're literally identical, and I thought it was him.
Oh my God.
It freaked me out.
Wait, are you sure that it wasn't?
No, I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure because, so I saw him and I made eye contact, and he looked at me like he didn't look at me like he recognized me, but I was like, I know him.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the names of all the people that had checked in, and I knew his name was Jeff, and I was like, the Jeff that's here doesn't have the same last name that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So then I just somehow in my memory banks remembered the one day in class he had mentioned he had an identical twin brother.
Oh my God.
And it's like somehow that sparked in my brain. So I'm like, this doesn't make sense. This does not make any sense. This guy's name is not Jeff. And his name tag didn't say Jeff either. And I'm like, What the heck? And then I looked him up on Facebook, and sure enough, his identical twin brother. It was so weird. But anyways, I remember always, every day in that class, because I was in AP Calc, just feeling guilty because I never did the homework all the way, and I just BS'd my way through the homework.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
no, me too.
Everything was totally wrong. And then on the tests, I was just so dumb because I didn't know anything. I was never doing the homework. I didn't understand the class.
I would not do all the homework, but I paid attention in class, and so I would get all A's, or we got the 10 points added, so sometimes I'd get over 100. But then when it actually came down to the AP test, I think I got a 2.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, the actual test was no good. I did well on the
I took the actual AP Calc test and I did terrible. I knew I was going to do terrible.
But it's because my teacher, at least when I was a senior, did not prepare us for it. And I was in IB Calc. So it wasn't, were you in AB?
I was in AP.
AP AB or AP BC?
The beginner one, whatever.
Yeah, AB. Okay.
Yeah,
no, I
wasn't in the hard one.
BC IB, and I mean it was absolutely stupid. So the IB Calc test was ridiculous. And yeah, no, I was like, I actually walked out after 20 minutes. Like, cool, bye.
I'm not going to take this. Yeah. I just remember like thinking I'm never going to use this, and I'm just trying to get a college credit. That was the main thing. And the main reason why I even took it senior year was because, you know, everyone tells you that you should still take a pretty rigorous schedule your senior year, even though you've probably already gotten accepted and all this BS. So
yeah, which nobody cares about.
But it's so crazy listening to like moms of high schoolers, just all they talk about is their children's college search.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
It's like their kid's life is their life. And it's absolutely absurd, like, how this college bubble has grown so much and how people are paying these ridiculous...
How many of those kids are actually using their college degrees? And this sounds sexist and whatnot, and I don't exactly mean it that way, but all of these girls go to college, and they get in sororities, and they do whatever bullshit major that they're going to do, and then they graduate, and then they get married, and then they have a kid, and then they never use their degree, and then they wasted all this time and money, and like, why? Why are you doing that? You just spent a ton of money in your sorority, a ton of money going to UGA, a ton of money on books and all this stuff just to...
Or maybe not even UGA, maybe like Auburn or something out of state where you're literally paying out of state tuition.
Just to get married, have a baby, and never even use your degree. And like, I know that sounds bad and that people will argue with me on that, but I just think it's stupid. I don't think that there's no reason that you have to go to college. Like, the only reason you're doing that is because you feel the pressure that you need to, but why? Why not work? Do something else.
Yep. I think people don't have the courage to step out. I went to college for 1 year and then dropped.
Yeah, you're smarter than me.
Yeah, it was mainly, I mean, there was a lot of different things. It was because I was in VEMA, but, you know, that's a whole other story. I talked about that a little bit yesterday on a podcast. But, you know, my whole paradigm just shifted. And, you know, I realized, like, I wasn't in school because I wanted to be there at all.
What was your major?
Can't even remember.
Didn't even get to those classes.
I got to one. It was mass communications.
Okay.
So I was going to go into, like, advertising pretty much, which is an interesting field. But I was in, like, one of the beginner classes for it, and they were talking about, like, print advertisement and stuff. And I'm like, bro, why are we even learning about print advertisement?
Yeah.
That's dead. All the people that are in those jobs right now are going to work at those jobs probably until they retire. And by the time they retire, there's not going to be...
There won't even be replacements.
There won't even be replacements. Yeah. Those companies are going to be dying.
Yeah.
You know, and print advertisements somewhat similar to, like, banner ads and all that stuff. But banner ads are kind of shitty, terrible advertisements, too. Like, I'm not interested in getting into that kind of stuff. I'd be more interested in getting into, like, video campaigns and, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, I don't know. But, so you were feeling the pressure to go to school, and then what kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back? And just
when I went to Germany, I told my mom, because my mom's goal was for me to go to college, and so I did it for her, yes, because she wanted me to, and she'd like put up with all this shit through my life. She wanted me to go to college because my mom is a man hater. Her and my grandmother both are like, independent. You don't need to rely on a man because men will always leave you. You need to be able to take care of yourself and all this stuff. So like, you need to go to college, be able to like pay for yourself and everything, and like be independent.
Why is your grandma like that?
Oh God. My grandmother is just crazy. I mean, she has been she is an entire other mess. So she had my mom when she was like 21 or 22 with some like 57-year-old man who was like this, like, gang is not the right word.
He wasn't in a gang, like
mob, in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
And he ended up dying from getting shot in his home over some money deal that went bad. And he was in and out of jail for my mom's whole life. So then my grandma ended up with, like, all these other fancy men, like, all over town. I mean, she was she knew Mr. Dean, you know, Dean Gardens and Johns Creek.
Yeah, I think so.
You remember that place?
Yeah.
She knew the prince of Serbia.
What
My mom used to hang out with, his name is Prince Faisal. He was over here illegally to learn about how to fly helicopters. So he was over here, he paid for everything in cash. He just had this house. He had I think he had like a gold toilet. He had all his fancy stuff. He just had loads of cash. And my mom...
He's a prince?
Mm-hmm. My mom would... I mean, he was like short and fat and nasty and gross. But he would have all these like prostitutes and like chicks come over, and then they would want to go shopping, but he wouldn't want to take them. So he would call my mom and be like, Allison, come take these girls to Buckhead and take them to go shopping in Phipps. So he just hand my mom like wads on wads of cash, and my mom would take these little sluts out shopping. Like one time in particular, my Prince Faisal told my mom to do something like this, take one of his girls to go buy something and be back by a particular time. And my mom said, okay, well, I don't have a watch. I don't know what time it is. So he went to his watch cabinet, pulled out his cabinet of watches and was like, take one. She still has the watch. It's this really fancy, like stone-faced, leather-banded watch. She took the least fancy watch that she could. I mean, there was like gold and diamonds and all this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And she took this little stone one it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but
you're like, Mom, why didn't you take that one?
Yeah, well, like she still has it. Like he didn't get it back from her or anything, but yeah, I mean, there would be movies filmed at Prince Faisal's house all the time, and my mom was in movies and stuff.
That's crazy. So your mom knew him because of your grandma?
Yeah. My grandma, there's this company called Dixon Tomatoes. Gary Dixon was another one of my grandmother's men that, like, she hung with. Like, she just had all the high rollers wrapped around her finger.
So she was kind of like a gold digger, sort of.
Yes. So she did, but she never married any of them. She was always, like, independent, doing her own thing, but, like, you know, snaked in between them.
That's not really being independent, because you're just sucking the money out of all this.
I do not agree with her tactics on this. But in all of this, she was a real estate agent. They lived in Atlanta. I mean, my mom rode MARTA to school by herself when she was 7 years old. Like, that's how my mom grew up.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, all of this ingrained a deep dislike of men in my mother and my grandmother's opinions, and because of that, number one, they don't like anybody that I date. Absolutely nobody other than Tanner. They both love Tanner. They still ask me about Tanner. I'm like, guys, I'm not marrying Tanner. But yeah, so
that's funny.
I needed to go to college to be able to support myself. I couldn't support myself as a dancer, blah blah. And then I was like, well, I've got this opportunity to go to Germany. I want to dance over there. I'm leaving. I'll go back to school when I get back. And that's kind of what I told my mom. Obviously did not do that. Had no intention of doing that. I actually was supposed to have my associate's degree before I left, but because Georgia Perimeter is highly unorganized, I never got that. Nor do I really care in the slightest. Yeah. They told me that I was missing a research class credit, some random history credit, and a PE credit. I literally looked at the guy and said, I'm a professional dancer. I'm not taking a PE class. I'll teach your PE class.
That's hilarious.
It didn't work, though. But yeah, so then I went to Germany.
So what was that? How did you get that opportunity?
I made it for myself. I just decided to go.
Yeah, so you're like, I got this opportunity to go to Germany, but you figured it out.
Yeah, no, I did it myself. I wanted to move to Los Angeles. I wanted to move to LA. And I was obsessed with moving to LA, but it was way too expensive, and I didn't think that I could afford to live there. I'd been told by multiple teachers and instructors at the Atlanta Ballet that I would dance really well in Germany and that there were good opportunities in Germany. So I looked it up, and Berlin was the place to be for dancing. It was super artistic, really cool. So I found a plane ticket for like $600, I think. And
that's good.
I found an Airbnb for like $30 a night or something in Berlin, and went the September of 15, I think, yeah. And
so you just packed up and
gave away a bunch of my stuff, packed up a suitcase, and left.
Where were you living at the time? With your mom?
I was living in East Atlanta Village. Yeah.
And did you like sublease, or like how'd you get out of your house?
It was my friend's house.
So you were just like kind of just living there and just
there.
paying cash?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I just left.
Because I think that a lot of people listening to this would be like, oh my gosh, that sounds so cool, but I could never because blankety blank, 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 and they list a bunch of excuses.
Well, no, the thing is, like, okay, so maybe getting out of a lease is difficult. But, you know, okay, wait out the time of your lease and then go. But it's so simple to get over there. My issue and the reason that I came back was because of timing. So
yeah, because you were originally planning on going there for a year, right?
Yeah, I was going to stay for, honestly, as long as I could. Like, I wanted to stay there for a long time.
And you went with your boyfriend, too?
I went with my boyfriend, yeah, which, yeah, he kind of followed me there, and it was a rough situation, but...
Gotcha. So it was your idea to go, and you're kind of like, I'm going, and he's kind of like, well, if you're going, I'm going.
Yes. So and that's why I wanted to go to LA, and then I was like, why am I limiting myself to only the US? I mean, I could go anywhere. If I can go to LA, exactly. I can go anywhere. But that was a little naive of me to think, because of the exact reason that I came back, visas are very difficult. Like, as a dancer, it's easy if you have some career job that
you're hired by a company that has like
the whole thing is being hired by a company. So dance companies, there's like the main ballet company in Germany, and specifically Berlin where I was. But then there's all of these trickle-down companies all over the place, which is much like Atlanta, but they're not official tax-paying companies necessarily.
Ooh, I see.
So they don't count if you get hired by them, by the government, as a reason for you to live there and have a visa.
So they're kind of just like operating under the radar, sort of.
Yeah, which is, I mean, how honestly most artist things are. I mean,
yeah,
it's not weird or bad or anything, it's just the way it works.
Yeah.
So Berlin was supposed to be, and I did a lot of research in this before I went, Berlin was supposed to be the easiest place to get a visa. Anybody could get there. Like, they welcomed artists, they welcomed dancers. Getting this thing called an artist visa was supposed to be super simple. I knew what to do. I knew how to bring all of my information in, blah, blah, blah. It was, again, fall of 15. If you remember, there was a huge refugee crisis in Greece, and it all went to Germany. So Berlin in particular, because it's the artistic city of Germany, had, I mean, floods of these refugees coming in.
From Greece?
From Syria and Turkey. Yeah. So I actually lived in the Turkish neighborhood. It's called Nude, and I mean, it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. There was a burqa store underneath my apartment. The falafel at every corner. It was delicious and amazing, and I made friends with all of them, and it was fantastic. I loved it. But because of that, it made it very, very difficult. They had way too many people coming into the city, so they were basically like, you have a country you can go back to it. Like, we're not going to grant, like, we can't afford to grant people like you visas right now because of the mass migration that we're getting of people that can't go back to their country. So it's not, it could have worked out. It was just very, very difficult. And to be honest with you, my boyfriend who came with me, he just decided one day, we were sitting in Barcelona, and he was looking online for tickets back to the US, found one for $350 and bought it, like, without really much discussion. And just kind of decided for the both of us that we were going back. And I was really upset. Like, I was livid. I was so mad. I almost stayed. I almost let him go back.
How long were you there for? Like 90 days? Less? 30 days?
No, we were there for like 70 days probably.
Okay.
Like a little bit over 2 months. It was not very long though.
So you have a tourist visa for 90 days. So you were good for 90 days.
Yeah, but so that's the thing. We could have stayed much longer. You could have stayed for a couple But the
more
reason,
weeks.
I mean, he found this plane ticket for like super, super cheap. So he just
$350 is hard to.
He just
bought it for both of you?
Yeah. He just bought 2 of them. And then was like, I bought tickets. We're going back to the U.S. on this day.
Whoa.
I was like, dude, what? Like, I didn't sign up for this. So I got really mad, and then I said that I was going to stay, and then he could go back without me, and then he got really mad, and then we both went back and forth. Not like mad at each other, just like, what should we do? You want to go back? I don't. And obviously I came back. It was just like, I was not getting jobs, but it was also a bad season for getting jobs. dance jobs kind of come in season. Most of the time in the spring, you get hired on for summers, and then.
And this was in the fall, winter.
Yeah, which is when seasons are already going usually, so they're not really hiring much. So yeah, it is what it is. I had a great experience with it. I toured Italy for 2 weeks. I went to Paris. I went to Spain. I went all over Germany.
That's awesome. Berlin is really cool. I only went there for a weekend, but it was awesome.
I love Berlin. I really, really like it. It can be a little bit dreary in the late fall, early winter. Lots of like spitty rain and gray clouds for weeks on end, which is slightly depressing, but you know.
Yeah, it's just kind of how it is sometimes.
Yeah.
One thing that was very striking to me in Berlin was how much, I guess, remnants of the Holocaust and, you know, all that kind of stuff there is.
It's so alive.
It's like, so alive, and it's so in your face.
Everywhere. Because, well, Berlin was so historical and all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, the wall is still there. There's literally a painted line on the ground where the wall was.
Yeah.
There's museums at every corner. The Holocaust Memorial is like smack in the center of everything, and it's really cool. One time, it's a series of a bunch of gray walls that are probably like 4 feet horizontally and like all ranging from like 1 foot to like 10 feet in height.
It's really crazy looking, actually.
Yes, it is very crazy
But it's
looking.
crazy because when you look over the top of it, it's flat.
Yes, because the ground of it dips down. If you haven't seen it, you should look it up. It's really creepy, specifically at night. One night,
it's very creepy at night.
One night I got lost in it, and there were people jumping out at me. I mean, it was terrifying. Like, people were jumping around and screaming at people, and I guess that's a thing. I was unaware. I was trying to cut through it to get to the train station I needed to be at. And people were, it was like a Halloween or something. Like, it was not Halloween, but it was something along
like a
the lines.
House.
Yeah.
Like a corn maze or something.
Yes, exactly.
A haunted corn maze.
God, it was terrifying. It was like, any of these people could have knives, and they're just yelling at me in German, and I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah. No, it was crazy because when me and my friend went to it, she showed me, she was like, oh yeah, I have to show you this Holocaust Memorial. It's so cool. And when we walked up to it, you know, like you said, some of these pillars are like, you know, only a couple feet tall. And I thought it was just a giant field of only a couple feet tall things.
Yeah, no.
And I only saw it at night. I didn't see it during the day. So I was just like, this isn't that cool? I don't know. But then once we walk, she's like, oh, we have to walk into it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm trying to paint a picture here. So basically it's almost like a valley, kind of.
Yes.
Like a little mini valley. And then there's all these pillars that are equidistant from each other, so it looks like a grid.
Yes.
This giant grid.
But it gets really deep.
But it gets really deep because the valley goes in. But when you're looking at it from the sides, the tops of all of the pillars are the exact same height.
Yes.
So looking at it from just like
it's
from the
almost
horizon,
like a lake if you think about it. Like the water is really shallow at the edge and deep in the center.
Yeah, and I don't even remember exactly the symbolism of it. Do you know why it's like that?
I don't remember.
I think it's something about every column represents a certain amount of Jews that were killed or something. I could be totally wrong on that, but it was very that was really cool. And we went to it at night, and there were some people that they didn't jump out at us, but they were scaring other people. We heard them.
Yeah, I guess that's a thing.
Yeah, my friend was telling me.
It was very unappreciated. I did not like it.
Because you were lost in it.
Yes, and I was completely unaware that was going to happen to me. It's like, I'm just going to walk through this
cool memorial because during the day it's cool.
Terrible idea.
Yeah.
Would not suggest it. If you go to Berlin, do not walk around there at night.
Yeah. The reason why we were there at night was because it was so cool. We were at it was right when the Euro Cup finals were happening, and Germany had just lost the week before, so they were gonna be in the finals if they had won.
Yeah.
But they lost, and so during that time they'd set up this whole thing called the Fan Mile. And it was this giant stretch of road that they had completely blocked off right in front of the what's the gate called? The Brandenburg Gate, isn't that what it's called? It was right in front of that, and they had like TV screens every
exactly what you're talking
like
about.
100 yards or so,
Yeah.
where you could watch the football match. And so me and my friend went and watched the final game there. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but
God, I miss that place.
Yeah, Berlin was so cool. And then also another interesting thing was, like, we went out and we were going to go, like, clubbing. And my friend was kind of like, do you want to go party? And I'm kind of thinking, like, the next day we were going to go out and do a lot of kind of sightseeing kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I only had a couple days there. And she said, you know, we can go out for a little bit. My friends are going to go out for drinks. We can just go out for drinks at this place. And we went to this really cool bar that was, like, on the river.
Yeah.
And I think I remember, like, Snapchatting you or something like that, and you knew where I was. But I couldn't remember. I was in this certain district.
21, something 21.
Maybe.
Or,
I don't remember. But it was so cool because this bar
64. I don't
was, like, on the river. And it was, you know, just a very weird, cool place. And we met these Swedish dudes.
Oh, was it the white trash place?
I literally don't remember.
Okay.
But these Swedish dudes were trying to get my friend and her friends to teach them German pickup lines to try to, like, talk to these German girls and pick them up.
Was your friend German?
Yeah, my friend's German. She,
Okay.
I think she was born outside of Berlin. She wasn't born in Berlin, but she lived. Right now, she's actually a student in London, which is cool. But I met her because she was an au pair with me when we were in Italy together.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, anyways, but this was the next summer. So we met the previous summer, and then this next summer I went and visited her, and yeah. So then we went out. She was like, "Let's go to this club," and these Swedish kids said that they would pay our cover because we were gonna help them pick up girls. So we were like, sure, if you want to pay our, you know, and they were going to pay my tab, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Sure, why not?
So, and originally we were just going to go back because it was already like 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
And we went to this crazy, it was nothing like a nightclub that I ever imagined. Like, because normally when you think of a nightclub, you think of like a darkly lit room and, you know, house music and like lights flashing and, you know, just like a douchey vibe, you know, like nightclubs are just douchey. There's a lot of like sleazy guys that are there trying to pick up girls. Lots of dudes that probably, you know, are in organized crime or they're selling drugs or, you know, just it's very sketchy and very shallow. And this nightclub was not like that at all. When you walked in to this little gate, and then you were immediately back outside in this little mini forest. And it was like a courtyard. And they had a bonfire.
So cool. Oh my God.
They had a bonfire in the middle of it.
That would not happen in the States.
This is not
People would be like,
nightclub.
this is a hazard. You can't have this.
Yeah. And I was like, this is not a nightclub. What the hell? And so, but it was so cool. And so then right next to this little courtyard area, and there's a bunch of logs where you could sit around and hang out and drink. And then there's this little shed kind of thing where there's this one DJ playing one kind of music, and you could go in there. And, you know, it was really weird and cool. And it did not give me this douchey vibe at all. It was just the vibe of more of like a music festival where everyone's just there for the music and everyone's just like drinking and having a good time.
That's awesome.
And then there was another environment on the other side completely that was playing it was actually inside the main area. And that was more of a kind of traditional nightclub situation, but there was no seats anywhere. It was just like all standing. Everyone was crammed in here. It was super dark. There wasn't even very many lights. And everyone's just like dancing to house music.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
we were there on a weird night, and so like normally there was like 3 levels, and so you could go up, and there was always different types of music playing on every level apparently, but there was only one. But it was like the coolest place ever. I'm like, this is a nightclub.
You don't remember what it's called?
I have no idea. I could ask my friend. She would remember.
Yeah.
But it was crazy because we just partied until the sun came up, and I didn't even realize it. And my friend had warned me. She was like, nights in Berlin, they don't end. Like you'll just all of a sudden be like, holy shit, it's daytime and it's time to go to work.
Go?
And so the metro like runs like all the time pretty much. And so it was daytime, and we went home and like slept for a couple hours, and then we like went and did our tour the next day. But that was awesome. That was just crazy because I rarely do I party all night long.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to bed at some point.
Yeah.
Like, whether it be 4 a.m. or something, whatever, that's pretty late.
Yeah.
But, like, the sun came up, and we were outside this little courtyard.
I haven't done that in so long.
Yeah, me neither. It was just very strange. But it was really, really cool. But one other thing that I was going to mention was how many, like, memorials and flags and all this stuff there were talking
everywhere.
about, the Holocaust and Jews, and, this is the home of where someone was taken. This is the home of a doctor.
Yeah.
On this date in whatever year, Jews were not allowed to practice medicine, or, just like literally just memorials everywhere.
Everywhere.
And it's so in your face. Like, you can't forget.
I mean, it's just such a huge thing that happened.
And there's like a lot of guilt too. Like, it's very
like, they're not at all proud in any way of what happened, and I think that they very much want to point out that they are different. Like, they are not the people that let that happen.
Yeah, but there is like definitely a sense of guilt from that older generation.
Oh yeah.
Which is crazy. And in America, obviously in poor taste, people would make a Holocaust joke. Someone would make a joke about
nobody does that.
Burning Jews, or I don't know, just saying a Jew joke and mentioning the Holocaust. No one would dare.
Ever. Nope.
No one would dare to make a joke about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
In Germany, at least from
like, specifically Berlin, but even in Munich and stuff, it is very much still a thing.
Yeah, and everyone that I met in Germany was really cool.
Oh yeah. The people that I met in Germany, I still Snapchat on a regular basis.
That's really cool.
Like, I'm still friends with them. Some of the people that I stayed in their home as an Airbnb, I made really good friends with them.
That's really cool.
And I still Snapchat her all the time.
That's really cool.
She's come to Atlanta and stayed with me here.
No way.
Yeah, so I really need to go back to Berlin and visit. So
yeah,
figure out the name of that club.
Yes, we should go. How did you decide that you were going to travel? Didn't you go to like London before?
I did, yeah. I danced in London for a summer, 2012.
So that was in between high school and college, right?
Yeah, I went and I just danced around different schools and stuff, and I did a lot of street performing.
That's cool.
It was fun.
So, is that the only time you'd ever really been overseas, or like?
No, I had been over. 2008 was the first time I went to Germany.
Okay, so you'd
Germany
already been to
and
Germany
Italy and
before.
Austria. Mm-hmm, yeah.
Cool. Was that just like a trip though? Was it like you didn't live there for a while?
Yeah.
Just vacation? Cool.
I mean, I was there for an entire summer. I went.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so the entire summer between middle school and high school, I was there.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I was in Munich.
That's sick.
Do you know Mackenzie Benson?
Name sounds
she went to
super
Northview.
familiar. Did she work at Camp All-American?
Probably. She went to UGA.
Name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, anyways, I stayed with her family in
Oh,
Munich
cool. That's awesome.
for a whole summer.
Yeah, one weird thing is like my family growing up, we never went to any foreign countries. Like if we went on vacation, we were going to Florida. That's basically it. We never went to the West Coast.
My mom lived in Spain, so because of that, I traveled
there's a lot of
amount.
I'm pretty sure like there's a crazy statistic like 90% of Americans don't even own a passport.
Wow.
Like I
Honestly,
would believe that.
Surprise me.
Doesn't surprise me at all. So many people have never left.
I mean, I didn't leave the country until 2008. I guess that was the first time.
Yeah, but still, you're a kid. My dad had never left the country besides going to Mexico or Canada until he visited me when I lived in Italy.
Wow. Yeah, my dad.
So I went out of the country before my dad did, and my dad was like 50-something.
Yeah, my dad he's been to Argentina one time, and that was recently, and that's the only time he's ever left.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think that the internet's definitely bringing our generation more together as far as being
then
global.
Also making people like not go anywhere because they can just look at it, online.
That's true. But I think that people can realize the accessibility. Like, for example, you can easily look up plane tickets and how much they cost, whereas before you'd have to go to a travel agent
that's
or, like,
true.
go to the airport or, heaven forbid, like, you can literally go on Skyscanner and find a super cheap ticket and just be like, boom, I'm done, I'm going.
Yeah. I found a $500 ticket to Rome the other day and almost bought it, and I didn't.
Yeah, me and my brother were going to, or my brother and I should say, we're going to Tomorrowland this summer, the music festival.
But you're not going to go anymore?
No, we are.
Oh.
And our tickets, I think, were like $400 or $500. We got a pretty good deal.
Where is it?
We're flying into Milan, and then we're just getting cheap flights to Belgium.
Have you ever been to Milan?
I lived in Milan for 3 months.
You did? I remember that. I did not like Milan when I was there.
It was kind of weird.
It seemed like a smaller, dirtier Paris.
Yeah. For me, though, I only went to Paris for a few days. I feel like it was
Milan for 2
super
days,
overrated.
so.
Paris was super overrated for me. I don't know, like...
Yeah, kind
the
of.
Louvre was really cool because I really appreciate art and stuff.
love
Like,
the Louvre,
you can literally spend days and days and literally months in the Louvre and see new stuff every single day.
Yeah.
But besides that, like, you know, the Eiffel Tower is cool, but, like, you know...
Yeah, I'm not
you
thrilling.
see it once and you're good, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, I didn't spend that much time there, but also... I was kind of intimidated because I also didn't know any French and, like...
Yeah, I know. French was insane. I mean, Spanish, I can get by. Italian, it's like drunk Spanish.
Basically Spanish.
French, I was like, what the fuck? I have no idea what is going on.
I said C to, like, 10 people in France for sure, and they looked at me like I was an idiot.
And French people won't speak English to you, usually.
Yeah... That was an interesting thing, too, was I heard that from a lot of people, but I was only there for a short time, so, like, I was able to talk to a decent amount of people in English, but I also didn't, like, go out and meet that many people there.
Like, in Germany, you'll speak English, and people would just be like, oh, you speak English, okay, and start talking to you in English.
Germany is really small, and not many people speak German in the world, so, you know, it's, like, it's not that small. But, like, or it's kind of like...
Maybe specifically in Berlin.
And also Berlin, I feel like, is pretty, like you said, like, artsy, and people are more open, I guess, you know? Yeah. And there's obviously going to be people that are very, like, no, we must preserve the tradition.
Every single government official. Getting anything done with the government was such a nightmare because I swear to you, not one person in the government office spoke English. I walked in and they laughed at me.
They're uneducated and they have a government job a lot of times.
And I said, does anybody speak English? And this lady laughed at me and pointed to the door. I was like, what? I just waited 3 hours to talk to you. And wait, what? And so then I had to leave. Yeah.
Whoa.
It was ridiculous. So then we ended up paying some guy that we found on the street to come and translate for us.
Did you ever wait in line again?
Yeah. Had to pay him 50 euros to translate for us he was a trooper. Like, he came and waited for it with us and everything. And
I mean, 50 euros, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, all for nothing because we came right back. But, no, it was a disaster. Nobody spoke English.
So when he wasn't able to help that much because he still needed, like, weird stuff. Well, yeah, like you said, he still came right back. I see.
He helped, yeah.
I see what you're saying. That makes sense. That sucks, though.
Without him, it was terrible.
That sucks. So, you know, you lived there for, like, 70 or so days, you said, but, like, that really was a huge milestone for you. And then when you came back, you were just, like, not going back to school.
When I came back, I was, like, so, like, not okay. Like, I was... like, depressed. Not like seriously depressed, but I was just not happy with my situation. I wasn't happy with anything. I went back to living at my mom's house, which I hadn't done in so long. Yeah. But I didn't have.
It's kind of what you have to do when you just, like, up and leave for a while because you come back to nothing.
It was so bad. I hated it. So then my mom started, like, overanalyzing my life and acting like I was in high school again, but I was an adult and I had lived with completely detached from her for so long. It felt like...
And then all of a sudden you're back in high school and
she's asking me what I'm doing at night and, like, I'm leaving. And if I spent the night out somewhere, I was like, where are you? Why aren't you here? It's like, dude, I gotta leave. So then I went and lived with my grandmother for a little bit, but then she turned into the exact same situation, and then I was basically homeless for a while. It was a crazy mess.
I remember.
And now I found here.
Yeah. No, I remember we hung out for a little while, and I remember it was in that situation where you're kind of homeless for a little bit and, like, trying to figure out what was going to happen.
I was, like, sleeping in my car in the parking lot of my 24-hour gym.
Hey.
But I had an apartment in Brookhaven for a little bit. I was bouncing around, like, subleasing from people. So one of my girlfriends, her lease wasn't up for 4 months, but she wanted to move, so I subleased from her for a little bit in Brookhaven. Lived there with this crazy guy who would have friends over in the middle of the night, and they'd be like, yeah, my roommate, she's this chick, and she fights, and I do jiu-jitsu. I dance, and I also do jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. So he would advertise me as this fighter, and his friends would get drunk and be like, oh, I want to fight you, and try to fight me. I'm like, dude,
I will kill you.
Yeah, I literally told this one guy, I was like, dude, I will choke you out in 10 seconds if you touch me, so do not touch me. And I mean, not that I'm a badass by any means, because I'm really not, but
you're a badass.
But like, this guy was so drunk and I was so not, and he was also not in shape at all, and I was like,
you could kill him.
I could kill you in a second, so please don't touch me.
In jiu-jitsu, like, one of the big, I guess, like, purposes for it is also they teach you how to take down a larger opponent, right?
Oh, yeah,
that's like one of the main things.
I roll with 200-pound men, and I can choke them out if I have better technique, because it's just a matter of weight placement and distribution.
Yeah, I haven't done jiu-jitsu. I actually really want to get into it because I haven't
done it in like 2 months, so I really need to go.
Literally, we need to go do it. It sounds super fun.
Yeah,
but,
it's really fun.
Mainly also because I have no idea how to fight people. Like, I feel like if I was ever in, like, a situation where I had to fight somebody, I would be
Starting to
screwed.
do jiu-jitsu made me so much more confident. I mean, I've always been a very confident person.
Definitely.
Overly confident for sure, because I always think that I could do more than I actually can. But
that's probably better than the opposite, though.
Yeah, I guess so. Except for when I get myself
into situations that you shouldn't.
Which I have been many times, and I've come out on top, so doing something right.
You're still here.
But yeah, doing jiu-jitsu made me definitely more confident.
That's just something, because I feel like everything at a certain level, the final escalation is physical.
Yeah, yeah.
And so if you want to stand up for yourself, there's something primal in the back of your brain that's saying this could get physical, you should chill out, because you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And like you said, if knowing those skills kind of makes you confident in a way that you weren't before.
Yeah, and for me, like, if I throw a punch at you, like, it's not, I mean, it might surprise you, but it's not going to do anything. But if I grab you by the right angle and use my leg to push you down and then get on top of you and choke you out, like, if I do that fast enough, then I could actually kill you.
Definitely.
But, like, that's why jiu-jitsu is much more appealing to me than, like, I mean, I like boxing, and I do box on occasion, and it's good to know.
Jiu-jitsu is a little more well-rounded, though, I feel like.
Yeah, like, I know how to punch somebody.
Because you strike, and you have the ground game, too. Yeah. And you kick, too.
Well, not in jiu-jitsu, necessarily. Jiu-jitsu is mostly choking.
Gotcha.
But having, like, a well-rounded knowledge of all those things helps a ton. And that's basically UFC fighting.
Yeah, MMA. And I feel like pretty much anyone that is a serious opponent in MMA has some sort of jiu-jitsu training.
Yes, I mean, you're stupid if you don't. Like,
you can't fight against people who are trained in jiu-jitsu. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people that get into it have a wrestling background.
Yeah, there's a lot of wrestlers who come into my gym, Knuckle Up, and roll with us. But they definitely they don't have the technique. It's like, I know this doesn't exactly apply to you, but it's like if some sort of competition contemporary dancer came into a ballet class. You've got the basics, kind of, but not the actual technique, and you're not an actual ballet dancer.
You're not an actual ballerina.
Yeah, like, wrestlers are kind of know what you're doing, and you can come into a jiu-jitsu class, but you don't have the technique, and you're not, like, you've got a lot to learn, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, jiu-jitsu's cool, and I really like it. But yeah, so I lived with this guy in Brookhaven whose friends would come over and try to fight me. And that was crazy. So then that was up, and I didn't have anywhere to live for a week, which was my little homeless shindig. And then I randomly found this place in Vine City. I don't know if you know where that is in Atlanta.
No, not really.
It is literally one of the most dangerous places to live in the U.S., like, charted. Like, it's terrible.
I remember you telling me about this place.
Absolutely.
You could hear, like, gunshots every night and stuff.
Every single night. It was completely normal. Like, at least 3. You'd be like, pow, pow, pow.
Everyone good?
Like, okay, cool. I'm going to go back to sleep now. Like, it was insane. Sketchy. And I lived on the ground floor of this really sketchy apartment. And, I mean, my car window got broken into. My wallet got stolen. Like, I had a brand new pair of Uggs that got stolen. That was my bad. I shouldn't have left them out. But, like, I mean, It was ridiculous. And I would get home really late.
Didn't you say a bunch of stuff that you just bought got stolen too? Like
yes,
you went shopping?
awful. That was my Christmas presents.
Oh,
all of my
gosh.
Christmas presents got stolen.
And that was like not that long ago, like 5 months ago, 6 months ago.
Yeah, that was in the end of November.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
That sucks.
But yeah, like one night I got home from teaching at like 9:30 and it was really dark outside and there were like 5 huge grown men standing in the doorway to the hallway of my apartment. I was sitting in my car like, fuck, I could die walking through that door. Like, I don't know if they've got knives on them. I don't know if they have a gun.
Yeah,
I don't know, like, what if they
know.
just shove me down and, like, there's so many of them and they're huge and then there's just me. So I almost, like, got back in my, like, just drove away. But I didn't. I ended up I got out of my car, held my head high, walked right through and was like, what up? Have a good night. But, like...
They didn't do anything?
They didn't do anything, no, but
Did they say anything?
I don't remember,
like
to be honest. I mean, they said something just casually. But, like, I mean,
but since you were in such a bad area,
of Atlanta.
It was very...
Like, that would be fine anywhere else, but I was like, it's, like, such a bad area.
Isn't it like the Snow on the Bluff area?
Yes.
Like from that documentary?
Mm-hmm.
I actually haven't watched the whole thing, but I know about it.
I haven't either. I should. But
You
yeah,
should
no,
watch
that's literally
now that you
where I
don't live
lived.
there anymore.
Exactly, it was awful. So yeah, I lived there, and then I was homeless for the people that I was living with, all of a sudden one night they were like, we're moving this weekend, something happened, and they didn't even tell me. It was really, really sketchy. They
didn't tell you what happened?
No, they're like, something happened with the management and we have to leave, so get your stuff and leave by Saturday and put the key in the mailbox.
Whoa, and you were subleasing with them?
From them, yeah. Like, I was just staying
Did the management
there.
even know that you were living there?
No, I don't think so. But, like, it didn't really matter. Like, it was so good.
It was so sketchy,
nobody
didn't
cared.
care.
Yeah. But, yeah, so all of a sudden I just had to leave. So I had to go back to my grandma's, and I was miserable, and happened to just find this place one day, and happily ever after, here I am.
That's awesome.
But yeah, Vine City was a disaster.
Yeah, what a story. One thing that was like kind of interesting that you mentioned earlier that was like about your grandma and your mom kind of being like man haters and stuff.
Yes.
How do you feel that kind of like affected you, or, you know?
Well, I'd like to think of myself as an independent thinker in regards to both of my parents, because neither one of them exactly raised me. I like bounced back between them. Because of that, I definitely developed my own opinions on things much more than most children get a chance to, I feel like.
That makes sense. I think a lot of people like take their parents' word above all.
Yeah, but both my parents had completely contradicting ideas. Like, 100%. Like, they made a point to. My dad would disagree with things that my mom said just
like, you'd come to your dad's house and he'd say, like, no, that's not true.
Yeah. Like,
this.
Yes. So I started to realize that neither one of them are right, and that they were both heavily biased to their own personal sides of things. So I started to develop my own opinions on everything.
That's cool.
I still definitely, I just have a different way of thinking than both of them for sure.
Yeah.
But not that their opinions didn't affect me. I definitely was, like, the way I think of things was definitely developed by that, inevitably.
Yeah. But like you said, your grandma was like kind of a man hater, but at the same time she was like a gold digger, so it's like,
yeah, so
you realize
weird.
the folly of that.
Yes, so in all of
There's
that,
no logic there.
No, none at all, which I am a very logical person, so that annoyed the hell out of me. But yeah, I don't know, like, with guys, they never can see anything past a bank account and insurance policies.
Wow.
Like, that is literally what they ask me on people that I date.
But that seems kind of contradictory, being, they're saying, well, you should be an independent woman that doesn't need no man kind of thing.
I know, but then they're like,
what kind of benefits does this man give you? But
yes.
But what, in their theory, what you should be saying is like, whether he has money or not, I can take care of myself.
Yes. And like, it should just matter that he loves you. But no, that doesn't matter. What matters is if he has good benefits and you can use him for what you need. Because
kind of fucked up.
My grandma literally told me over Christmas break, I was in the car with her, we were driving to my mom's lake house. She told me that she has never been in love before. She's 79 years old. It's like, wow, that's really sad. I mean, like, I get, like, I don't know.
I think the modern equivalent of that lifestyle would be the whole, like, Instagram sponsor thing. Do you know about this? Like, of, you know, basically what'll happen, there's this page called Tag the Sponsors that I followed that exposed me to this whole world where basically there's these rich dudes, like you were saying, the Prince of Serbia or whatever.
Yeah.
And typically a lot of these guys are living in Dubai, or they're these, you know, very rich oil money type people where they, you know, you think of these people, you think of some people as being the richest person in the world. Okay, yeah, maybe on paper, but these dudes over there, they just got so much stupid money. They could be the richest person in the world. You have no idea because their money's not on the books. Like,
yeah.
You have no idea. So anyways, these guys, they literally, they live in Dubai, which is very modest, and it's religious. Like, the law is part religion. So they're supposed to, you know, the women are supposed to be covered and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they see these American women on Instagram that are flaunting their butts and, you know, half naked on Instagram. So they're like, oh, these chicks are sluts. And they'll do anything for money, essentially. And so they'll DM these girls and literally say, you know, $10,000, I'll fly you out, you can bring a friend, and we can do whatever we want to you, essentially. That's...
No way!
And that's real. That's literally real.
I mean, yeah, I believe that, but what?
It's really fucked up, but...
I got paid for a picture of my stomach the other day. I got paid $150 by this guy. He hit me up on Snapchat and was like, asked me for a picture, and I mean, I didn't have to show my boobs, my butt, or nothing. I just, like, I was clothed. I was wearing underwear. And
he just wanted a picture of your stomach?
Yeah, he wanted a picture from, like my, like, right underneath my boobs to, like, the, like, mid-thigh. I had underwear on. I was like, sure. I made him Venmo me first. And then...
Who is this dude?
It's a long story.
Just some random guy that you know?
This guy, I met him through Lifetime, my gym.
Yeah.
He was a janitor there. He came up with this I mean, it's a long story. Summed up, he came up with this story last summer about this clothing brand that he was going to start, blah, blah, blah. It was going to be sold at Urban Outfitters, and he wanted me to model for it. I'm like, okay, cool. I model all the time. I do modeling, like, on a weekly basis. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll model for your clothing line. He didn't want me to model his clothes. He wanted me to be on his clothes, like pictures of my body on the clothes. And again, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's totally fine.
Oh, like this printed on the clothing.
Yes. He was promising me thousands of dollars. Like, I think he got up to $8,000 he promised me for these shoots. So I'm like, okay, dude, set up a photo shoot. Like, bro, I'm there. Yeah. And he was like, okay, well, I'm going to need you to send me some, like, practice shots for me to edit. I'm like, okay, like, what do you want? And so it boiled down to him wanting me to take a selfie, which I have absolutely no problem with nudity. I am very confident with my body. I will be naked in front of essentially anybody, like, in an artistic way, not in a sexual way.
Yeah.
Like, the naked body is totally cool with me. I see naked people all the time. It doesn't faze me. I will not send naked, like, sexual pictures to people. Yeah. Because I don't think, like, I believe in nudity as a form of art, not in, like, I don't see nudity as a sexual thing. So anyways, I'm like, and I'm also just very stubborn. So he was asking me for a picture of not even naked, like in a white, he wanted a white wife beater tank top and black underwear and me to take a selfie. So this whole time I'm like, there's nothing wrong with this selfie that he's asking me, but like, I'm not gonna take that picture for you. All you're gonna do is jerk off to it.
Yeah.
Like, no, absolutely not. So we went back and forth. This is all last summer, and it ended up fizzling out. He never set up a photo shoot. I never sent him a selfie.
So this whole thing was just like an elaborate, weird plan to try to get you to send him naked pictures.
Yeah, it was very strange. So about 3 weeks ago, it started back up again. And all of a sudden, he Snapchatted me and was like, yo, this like picture you posted was dope. Can I use this for my clothing line? I was like, you know what the hell? Sure, if you want to. It's on Snapchat story for everybody to see for 24 hours with just a picture of me in a mirror. Like, sure, go for it, dude. There's nothing I can really do to stop you anyways. So then he was like,
block him or something.
Yeah, which I ended up doing. But so this is where it all gets interesting. He's like, well, actually, I want this particular picture from you. And I'm like, okay, well, you can pay me and I'll send it to you. And he was like, okay, well, I've got this budget of like X thousands of dollars. I don't even remember. So I want you to get on this project so I can give you this money. And I started working for Delta so I can get you free flights. And like just started promising me all this random stuff. And I was like, dude, I just want you to pay me to send you a picture. Like, I'm not trying to like take thousands of dollars from you. Like, I will. So we went back and forth.
I will take advantage of that.
We went back and forth, and he literally sent me a legal contract. And now one of my like really close friends is a lawyer. So I sent it to him, and he was like, yeah, like, here's a problem, get him to fix these issues, and you have yourself a legal contract. It was completely protective of me. It gave me complete rights to the pictures. Like, this dude got no rights in the contract that he sent me. And I was
what was this contract for? For him to use your pictures?
Yes. For T-shirts on Urban Outfitters shirts.
But in this contract that he ended up making, it basically gave him no rights.
Yeah. It said that, he couldn't put somebody else's face on my body. He couldn't put my face on somebody else's body. He wouldn't use my face in any of the pictures. He wouldn't identify me. I was going to get like 60% of the sales or something, like ridiculous. It made no sense. There was absolutely no sense to it.
It seems very
obviously
fishy.
I was like, sure, like I'm protected in this, so why not? So he asked me for a picture of, I think it was like, yeah, like I said, like my underboob to the mid thigh in white underwear. So I found white underwear, I took selfies and I sent them to him, and he sent me $100. And then he wanted a picture of my butt. So I had put on black underwear, took a picture of my butt. He sent me $50. I sent him that one. He edited one of them. It is so weird, like so weird. He completely butchered my body. It looks so freaky. And he was like, dude, like look at this picture that I did. It's so dope.
What?
He ended up not using the pictures for anything. He's asked me for pictures since then. And I'm like, dude, I mean, if you keep paying me, I'll send you pictures. But like,
there's such a weird, like, oh my gosh, that edit is terrible.
It's so bad. He stuck fake tattoos on me. Like this is...
What does he think he's doing?
I don't know.
Wow. That's a good picture, though.
Thank you. But like, what in the world?
That literally looks terrible.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, that's weird.
But yeah, I got $150 out of it.
Yeah, so like, in today's day and age, like you just said, you can kind of make money off of this whole...
Yeah, and none of that did I see him. That was all done over social media.
There is this phenomenon for a while. There was this Facebook group that I was made aware of. I think it was called Pizza for Booty or something like that. And it was this weird thing started by this guy. It was like big in kind of like the EDM community. That was like where it kind of like got started. Was all these people that were like going to music festivals and stuff. But it was this Facebook group where essentially you would post a picture of your butt in this group, and as appreciation, people would order a pizza to your address online. So these girls were posting pictures of their butt on this group, just like, haha, this will be fun. And we're getting like 20 pizzas.
No way!
Because these thirsty dudes are like trying to, impress them in some way.
That is so crazy.
Like, I'll buy you 3 pizzas.
Can
to
you
get
buy me
noticed
like
or something.
Some salmon and salad, please?
Yeah. That was the other funny thing was people were like, don't eat pizza, but I'll take Chipotle. Or get me Uber
Chipotle.
Eats. Or like stuff like that. And I was a
Maybe for
member of the group,
pizza.
but I never bought anyone pizza and never posted any pictures. But guys were posting their pictures too.
No
And
way.
girls, because they were like, hey, you know, we're getting love over here. I'll buy some dudes a pizza too.
Yeah.
So dudes were even getting pizzas, which is
That
funny.
is hilarious.
And then like gay dudes were buying other dudes big pizzas. Like it was so funny because it was all this stuff and it was just trading pizza for pictures of
hilarious.
butts. And it was so funny. But it got shut down and then they came back and they're like, we've found another loophole. But anyways.
Pizza.
But it's kind of, you know, a small scale, you know, to play devil's advocate here, you could even say it's like a small scale of not prostitution, but like
Something along those lines, yeah, in like a
something
really
along those
weird
lines.
way.
Yeah. And
But
you
it's
know,
so impersonal. Like I said, I never saw this dude in any of this.
Yeah.
I mean, at
know
the gym
him.
the one time that I met him, but I mean, I hadn't seen him since last summer, and he paid me via Venmo, and I sent him pictures, and
yeah.
oh, did I tell you that in all of this, he got his manager to text me, and I mean, I swear it had to have been the same dude from a different number, because he was like trying to act
Trap
all
phone
official,
number.
and oh my god, it was ridiculous. The whole thing was just such a scheme. It was funny.
That's
But,
so
you know,
ridiculously weird.
the way I see it, I came out on top. I mean, I sent him 2 pictures that I actually posted on Instagram.
I was gonna say, I thought I saw that picture.
Yeah, no, I just blocked him on Instagram. They're good pictures, so I put them on. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I even told him, I was like, dude, I model regularly, and I have friends who are photographers that I've just made friends with over time from modeling so much. I can hook you up with a photographer, and you can have a legitimate
photo shoot.
shoot. And I was like, with such a large budget of thousands of dollars, we should set up a real shoot. And he,
Instead of you just sending selfies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was super weird.
I think people like that want to, if he's being legit, he's either just fantasizing and digging around in his own head of what, he's delusional of what his company and all this stuff is.
Which could be valid, but...
Or he's literally just trying to jack off to pictures of you.
Yeah,
which
but
is
then why
also
not
valid.
just look at my Instagram or my Snapchat? Dude.
Very true. You know? Yeah.
The whole thing was
that's
so
odd.
weird.
But to kind of go along that thread, so obviously you're pretty like fascinated with like the human figure. You know, a lot of
Yes.
your drawings and art and stuff is all is, you know, the naked figure, stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, I can probably answer this on my question by myself, but ballet probably kind of like started that for you, right? And dancing.
I mean, a little bit. I've always been into art, and I always have drawn. I just started, sounds weird, started like drawing my own body a lot.
Yeah.
Because
You can be on a model. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, just like look at myself in the mirror and then draw myself and then distort it a little bit and then make things exaggerated, and I don't know, I just started drawing myself. And I mean, not that all ballerinas are comfortable being naked. I just have a personality like that. But I mean, changing backstage at Atlanta ballet
Yeah.
shows, I mean, you're naked backstage right behind the curtain and nobody cares. So I mean, with dancing and then wearing leotards all the time, and then you're constantly being touched in ballet in a not sexual way.
Yeah,
Like, just
exactly.
like
In an artistic.
yeah, it's like nobody cares. So I just
You just became comfortable with your own
yeah,
body.
totally. And then I started modeling for body art, and that was really cool. Started
How did you
doing
get
that when
into
I was
that?
18. Well, the North American body art competition, which I think is the second largest one in the world, was in Atlanta for a while.
And so for people who are listening, they don't know what that is. What does that entail?
So body artists from all over the world fly into Atlanta and compete against each other.
And they're painting on bodies.
They're painting, my body. So the first one, I had an artist from Canada fly in, and she had an assistant who they didn't know each other. She was just paired up with him. But she had the idea, the concept, she told him, and then he would help her with whatever he needed. So I had the two of them painting me. I was 18, and I had this 40-year-old man laying between my spread apart legs, painting up between my legs, like
Were you wearing underwear or was there
a
nothing?
string thong. Like,
so it's like a string thong, so barely any coverage, and then you're not wearing anything up top, right? Just completely,
no, nothing. They put
basically naked.
They end up putting like little stickers over your nipples, so you're technically not naked. Yeah, but one of the
which is hilarious because we can get into this, but nipples are the funniest, weirdest thing that you have to censor.
God, don't even get me started. It is ridiculous.
I saw someone on Facebook say I should make pasties of on the pasties it would be a picture of a male nipple.
Yeah.
A male nipple.
Put a little bit of hair
male
on
nipples
there.
are cool and you can put that on, and so it's a picture of a nipple on top of your nipple, but since it's a male nipple it's cool.
Exactly. Makes no sense.
Makes absolutely no sense.
Absolutely no sense. So yes, I would have little nude colored stickers over my
But then they got painted
nipples.
over, so you
then
couldn't
they were
see
painted,
them.
yeah. But
and then you had to walk down a catwalk
runway
or something.
Yeah. Model it and then be judged, and then
But were you being judged or was the art being judged?
both. So models got awards too, but mostly art. I mean, the competition was for the art.
And what made you so fascinated with participating in that?
Well, I loved art, like visual arts. I love performing arts. It was a great combination. I love nude bodies, so it was a perfect combination of all of it. And I love travel and.
Were you afraid of what people would think, or what your parents would think, or
not
anything
in the
like that?
slightest.
Did your mom kind of freak out?
My dad took me to the first one that I went to.
Oh, really?
Not
That's cool.
performing in, but he. The whole reason I knew about it was because his girlfriend at the time was going to the show, and she was like, "Oh, it's an art show. Elizabeth would like it. We should bring her." And then it was naked chicks walking around, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! I want to model in this." So the next year I signed up and I started modeling in it.
That's cool. So it doesn't appear that you're naked, essentially.
No, it looks
when you're on
you're
the couch.
wearing this crazy.
Because I saw some pictures from it when you were in it, and it was really crazy looking.
Yeah, I've done 3 of them, and in one of them I had pieces of latex all over my body, so my face was even completely distorted. You couldn't even tell it was me.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And that one I actually wasn't even wearing underwear. I just had a piece of latex taped to either one of my not my pelvic bones, but right inside there. So where a bikini would be.
Yeah, it's
and then
the crotch area.
Pulled down between my legs and then taped to the top of my ass crack. So it was like a sliver of pizza. If you can imagine a sliver of pizza that you put the crust here and you pull the cheese through and stick it to the top. It was so uncomfortable. Oh my god.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, so a thong without the strings on the side.
Yeah.
And then I had latex nipple covers, and then all this crazy fucked up face latex.
So you look
that
like
made
an
me
alien.
look like an animal alien thing. Yeah.
Wow.
The end result was very cool. It was just crazy, and my face and nipples were bright red for a couple days from the latex being pulled off.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it was uncomfortable the whole time.
Oh yeah.
How long is the painting process?
So for the competitions, they have 6 to 8 hours, depending, if I remember correctly, until they have to be
limited
judged.
time.
Yes.
I've also seen some kind of crazy thing where they do body taping, where they make cool designs with black, it almost looks like electrical tape.
Oh
you ever
god,
seen
that sounds
before?
awful. No.
Yeah.
No,
they make
I'm not
really
about
crazy
that.
designs, and it's pretty trippy looking.
Yeah, but taking that off taking off paint is awful. I ruined
Did you just take
bathtubs.
a shower? Or?
Yeah, and it's
Did it stay
a
in the
death
bathtub?
scene, a rainbow unicorn death scene. It's so bad.
That's so funny.
Because most of the time they're bright colors. I did this, the last one that I did was this chick from Germany who flew in to paint me, and she put mud in my hair to make it sculptable. Whoa. And sculpted with my hair with mud in it, and then painted it green. So my hair, it was disgusting. I had green paint in my ears for a week after that. I had mud in my hair. Honestly, it was a good hair treatment. At the end of the day, my hair ended up softer.
Yeah, you got some mud.
Yeah, but it was insane. I had so much nastiness all over me. But all in all, it's a really cool experience. I love doing body art modeling. The competition moved to, I don't know, somewhere outside of Atlanta. So
now it's not in Atlanta anymore.
Yeah, I didn't do it last year.
Yeah, that's really interesting though.
I got asked to be in the world. I got asked to model in the world competition, which is in Austria or Switzerland. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I was like, if you fly me out there, I'll do it, but I'm not going to fly myself out there.
Yeah, just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Nah. That's really interesting. So, so you're saying you kind of do a lot of modeling and stuff. How did you get into that?
Mainly through dance, because photographers always want to take pictures of dancers. Although I modeled when I was a kid. I did modeling for like little girls magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
Little
but that's
girl,
like weird.
Yeah. So I did that, and so I had like a little bit of a background in modeling. Then I started doing it again with dance-related things, and then my Instagram kind of popped off, and now I just get hit up by photographers all the time, and it's cool. You make $100 here and there.
That's
People
cool.
want to shoot you all the time.
Yeah.
Helps my resume with dance, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of going back to the whole like sponsor thing, like it is kind of crazy how like people can just find you on Instagram, like, whoa, this chick is cool, or whoa, this chick,
I get hit up by the most
or whoa,
random
I want to
people.
bang this chick, and if I offer her an exorbitant amount of money, I know it'll happen. Like, it's pretty crazy.
I get hit up by the most random people on Instagram, and it is crazy what they will say to you. Like,
Because you have these kind of like nude pictures on there that are somewhat censored, you know, and so they're kind of thinking like, oh, this girl will do anything. She's probably a freak.
Yeah.
You know, because
I get all these
because it's not sexual when you're doing the pictures, you know, but like.
But people view it.
As that because they can't separate the two.
Yeah. So I end up with all of these random people like, "Hey, you're beautiful." Like, okay, how am I gonna respond to that? God. Hey, you're really hot.
So for any dude out there that's just in a thirst trap and he's trying to talk to some girl on Instagram that he thinks is hot, what should he say?
Definitely not, hey, you're hot, wanna bang. It's not gonna do it.
Damn, that's my go-to.
I know.
That's my go-to, Elizabeth. What do I say? What do I say, Elizabeth?
Maybe just go out to a club and start grinding on someone because there's usually thirsty girls there.
Okay, so but in reality, is there anything that someone could say on Instagram that would pique your interest that would like...
I mean, not me personally, but I'm sure some slutty girls, yeah, for sure.
Gotcha. So basically, if anyone is, you know, for dudes out there, if they're trying to hit up girls on Instagram DMs, it's probably not going to happen.
You know, I have friends who, like, exclusively go on dates through Instagram DMs.
Wow.
Yeah, like, that's how they meet people. Mm-hmm.
Like, are they just super attractive and they just keep getting hit up all the time, or is that just how girls are and they always get hit up?
No. I mean, these girls are really hot.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like there's a strange pressure and weirdness of being a hot girl where you have this pressure that you've got to date someone who has tons of money because you have that, like,
kind of,
you know,
to
it's
an
like,
extent.
It's like because you are so attractive, you're on kind of a different level of male attraction. Virtually every male is attracted to you. You know, kind of like how they released that, like, did you hear about how they have that Tinder for hot people?
Yeah, I did hear about that. You have to, like, get accepted into it? I haven't even tried.
Yeah, I know, right? No, but, like, there's this, apparently there's, like, Tinder Select, and then there's, like, a couple other dating apps that are literally, you have to be accepted as, like, a high-status person, or I think on Tinder Select, it's, like, basically the top 1% of everyone who gets swiped right. Like, basically, just, there's some girls on Tinder that, you know, you'd be a fool to not swipe right on because they're just gorgeous.
Yeah.
As far as external appearance goes.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of them are bimbos and probably stupid. But, like, dudes with a lot of money a lot of times just don't care.
They don't care, yeah. Yeah. No, I have a friend who is a dude who is a very, very, very attractive man. I mean, he's great and we're great friends, but it was, like, exclusively dating is not the right word.
Seeing.
Back and forth, like, 1 or 2 times tops with girls on Tinder, and he would just, like, get the hottest girls on Tinder and hook up with them one night and then move on to a different city and travel. Like, that's how he got chicks.
So he got his rocks off.
Yeah. But so one of my friends, she gets hit up on Instagram all the time, and I don't know exactly how this came about.
How does she vet them? Like, she looks at their profile and, like, okay, this guy's cool.
She only gets hit up by professional athletes.
Wow.
Or some high collegiate athletes. But like this girl, it somehow, she just is
She a dancer?
She's like an athlete magnet. She knows like the Hawks, the Georgia Tech team, the Falcons, any sort of like SEC football team around here, she's probably dated a guy on. And like, not in a bad way to her at all. Like, she is like working it, and she, like what she does, she's really good at. But like, yeah, so they'll fly her around everywhere. I mean, like professional like football players. There's someone on the Celtics who she was with for a while. She just gets flown around everywhere.
Why do you think that there's literally no opportunity for guys like that? There's no sugar mamas.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. I have a friend who had a sugar mama in New York City, and she would fly him all over the place.
That's so weird. Like, yeah. but it's not as common.
Yeah, she was much older than him. He was in his 20s, and she was in like.
So it's like older woman looking for a younger dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whew. That's such a strange world, man. I feel like that sucks you in, kind of like your grandma, you know? Like,
yeah.
You get sucked into that, and then you have no idea what you're doing, and then by the time you're old, then you're like, wow, I've never loved anybody.
Yep, exactly. It's like, this is a sad life. I mean, you had fun and you partied a lot.
It's kind of like selling your soul to the devil kind of thing, because it's like you're trading, you know, one of the only real things you can hold on to for just money and material objects.
Yeah, but if you don't believe in that, then, like, I genuinely don't think she even believes in love based off of the way she lives her life and the way that she views things. It's kind of sad.
Do you believe in love, Elizabeth?
You know, I'm not quite sure.
Oh. It's kind of a deep question, but...
It is, I don't know. I believe in love. Being in love is different. I think that you can love people without being in love with them.
I definitely think that's true. I love my friends. Like,
yeah, that's how I am. I mean, I love not many people, but, you know, an exclusive group of people that I love.
Yeah.
And care about a lot.
Totally feel you.
Yeah.
That's one thing I was talking to Ashlyn about. We did a podcast a few days ago, and, like, we were talking about, you know, I've been, like, single for, like, a long time. Mainly just because I'm comfortable with being single. I don't feel like I need to be I feel like a lot of people feel that need to be in a relationship. And, you know, I'm just kind of like not going to settle for some dumb relationship that isn't going to go anywhere. You know?
My issue is that, because I'm very comfortable being single. I'm single now and it's fantastic. But
Were you dating someone recently though?
Kind of. Yeah, I broke up with him in February. But I like...
There was a lot of red flags there.
Yeah, I know. That was a terrible relationship.
He was mad that we were hanging out.
Yes. Okay, yes. You know him. Yes.
No, but I remember...
I forgot you did their history with you.
No, I remember why we hung out. Because I had tickets to that concert.
Yeah, and you asked me.
And I asked you to go because I had an extra ticket.
And he told me that...
And he told you that the world didn't work like that.
He told me the world didn't work like that. I was like, dude, I've been friends with Andrew for years.
He was like, he likes all your Instagram pictures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, dude, it's so creepy that you know that. He's like, well, I've just gone through and
it's quite creepy.
He was like, but he comments on everything on Facebook. And so I went back and looked, and I was like, he's commented on maybe one thing in the past, like, maybe 5 months.
Yeah, because I'm your friend, too. Like, am I not allowed to comment on things?
But you hadn't even. Like, that was the thing. Like, you
That's
hadn't.
creepy.
I was like, dude, you're just making this shit up.
It's creepy that he knew who I was, but I didn't know who he was, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm your friend, and I didn't even know who you were dating.
Yeah, and he's dating me, and he, like, creepily knows guys that I've been friends with in the past. Like, it's just, the whole thing was so weird.
It's quite odd.
I did not date him for very long, and I broke up with him because he was insane. And the whole reason we ended up, our last argument was over a 40-year-old man giving me too much attention. I was like, dude, maybe he's just helping me, which he was. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, jealousy is hard. I'm not the jealous type.
I am not either. So that I just have a really hard time understanding it and relating to it because I
can understand it on some level.
Some level, but not to the extent that I've experienced. And for some reason, guys get really, really jealous over me, and I do not work well with jealousy. So then when people get jealous over me, Because I'm a very open and honest person. Like, I don't lie. So, like, I'm going to be open with you and honest with you about anything that I'm doing. So the moment that you start thinking that I'm lying to you and going behind your back, like, nope.
I think that there's kind of like this primal sense that men have of like, this is my woman.
Yeah.
She can't talk to anyone else.
Well,
this is my prize. I've worked hard. I put in time and effort. I spend money on you.
Yeah.
And you should not be allowed to speak with any other man.
But for some reason, you can go around and talk with whoever you want, and it's fine.
Because there's double standards.
Yes.
So, we were kind of talking about that earlier, and, you were saying your grandma and your mom are kind of like man-hating kind of thing. Like, what is your personal, like, view on, do you subscribe to any kind of, like, are you a feminist? Are you a, like, what would you say as far as your views of...
I think that there's a fine line between, like, I think that there's nothing wrong with gender roles. I don't think there's anything wrong with breaking gender roles. If a woman wants to be the sole provider, that's fantastic. More power to her. If a woman does not want to do that and wants to be a stay-at-home mom, that's totally fine. That's your choice. If you want to be single and do your own thing, that's also fine. Like, I just don't understand why we can't just all think that everybody's important. Because there are those feminists that are like, women need to rule the world. Men have been around too long. Like,
patriarchy. Smash the patriarchy.
Like, why can't we just all be equal? And, I mean, but that's the thing. I take that back. There's no way for everybody to be equal. Because men and women are very different, and we are not equal
biologically
beings.
And socially.
Yeah, we're completely unequal beings. So there's no way to be equal, but we can be supportive of each other in an equal way.
Love that.
Yeah. That's the way that I view it, at least. Like,
that's a great way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
Say that again. What did you say?
Being supportive of each other in an equal way.
Supportive of each other in an equal way. I love that. Yeah. I really like that a lot.
Put that on the spot.
That was good, though. Because I feel like, I don't want to generalize because I think generalizations are, destructive and they're not a good way of understanding people, you know? If you make a generalization, it's hard to put yourself in that person's shoes,
Yeah.
But there are a lot of these feminist types or, people so fondly call them feminazis, and, like I said, hate to be generalizing, but a lot of times they're girls that are either, they don't have that much going on, or they're depressed, or they've had a lot of hurt by men. They've been hurt by men in the past, or they, I don't know. Again, hate to make generalizations because I'm sure there's a lot of people like that out there that have had positive relationships with men. But, of course, there's some kind of harboring, and it's hard to say that a lot of them are not man haters. And,
But then
I think that there's a lot of things that are, yes, the quote-unquote patriarchy, that's pretty bad. But at the same time, it's not that all men have this secret agenda to further the patriarchy. And there's almost this kind of creepy underlying, like, male feminist guy that is around, too, that, like, sides with that whole thing to try to get laid. They're like,
I've seen those.
Yeah, I'm, screw gender roles. Like, we can do whatever, baby.
Yeah.
You can be the man.
I
don't know.
Like that.
It's weird. But because I do have a lot of friends that are pretty, hardcore feminists, and I love them. But at the same time, I think that aligning yourself with that, whatever you want to call it, regressive left or whatever, that is very destructive. And as a white male, apparently I'm not supposed to be talking about this or even giving my opinion on it because I'm part of the problem. But you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to give my opinion anyways.
But that's stupid that you shouldn't be able to because of the color of your skin or your gender.
Sorry, I was born this way. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are going to be pissed off listening to this probably. But who cares? I think man-hating and being aggressive and being... I don't know. I think a lot of times it's not helping the problem. And I think that, like you said, supporting each other in an equal way is the best way of doing it because there's no way that men and women are ever going to be equal, and that's a good thing.
Exactly. It's the uniqueness of both of us. There's no way.
There's a lot of power in being a woman. We just went over a ton of it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of power in being a man. And like, just because I'm a woman and I want to feel powerful does not mean that I need to belittle a man's power. That's literally the definition of a bully. Like, we're all about like not bullying and being coexisting. That's a huge thing nowadays. And being tolerant. But you're not tolerant of the powerful people per se that have been in power. You're only tolerant of the people who are not in power. But then that's no reason to put, and I use the word in power in the way, like, you know, just typical man, let's say, like, who you would view as the powerful person in a relationship. That doesn't mean you have to cut that person down because you want to feel stronger. Like, that's literally the definition.
The rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah.
Like, in order for you to win, that doesn't mean someone else has to lose, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, a relationship is about both people winning.
Yes. And the minute that it's viewed as all women need to be the main power and we don't need men anymore, like...
Or even, like, the opposite of it, like the complete gender role kind of thing where the man makes all the money and the woman is, you know, taking care of the house and whatever, and the man needs to provide everything for the woman and, you know, all this stuff. I don't think that's a super healthy thing either, because I think, you know, a woman should be able to kind of be slightly independent as well. Yeah. And I think that's kind of a, you know, I'm not saying it in the fact that women shouldn't, you know, depend on their husband, because I think that that's a positive thing. If you're, you know, there's two parts to that relationship. If he's the breadwinner and you're the housekeeper or whatever, not housekeeper, that was so fucked up to say.
No,
but you know,
I agree with it. Yeah.
You're running the household and you're taking care of the kids and you're a housewife, whatever. That's cool. That's fine. And if that's what you like to be as a woman, then that's awesome. But like, the minute that you're, you know, let's say withholding sex from your husband to get what you want or something, that's abusive.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like, you're
never around, so we're not going to have sex.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, whatever. It's kind of weird.
Like, people get super bent out of shape about stuff like that too. Like, I don't know. But I think that a lot of relationships nowadays are unfair in regards of like roles and stuff like that.
Yeah. Another thing that's very interesting is I feel like men today, they don't have a quest or like a greater purpose or like something they can fixate on, and so that they just get caught up in, I don't even know, like just like a lot of these guys that just are in this whole hookup culture where they're not even, they say they want a girlfriend, but then they'll constantly just be trying to hook up with girls and not have any sort of real relationship, you know?
Yeah.
Which is also strange. Because I'm not really like that. For whatever reason, I don't really know why. Like, I'm not at the club every weekend trying to hook up with a new girl. Like,
missing out on life, Andrew.
I don't think I am, though. Like, I'm happily single.
I work too much for going out and doing stuff like that. Like,
true that.
I have too many things to do with my life than go chase men.
Yeah. And another thing, you're getting hit up on Instagram already, so dudes are already chasing you, you know?
Yeah, I don't take advantage of any of them unless they offer me $150 for a picture.
That's kind of funny. But, you know, like, it is hilarious how many dudes are in such weird situations like that where, like, for example, that guy, he's, like, on a weird quest to, like, buy naked pictures or something. Like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy?
Why are you giving me money for this? I mean, I'll take it, but, like...
Yeah, like, I don't get it. Like, I guess some dudes, like, oh, I want to spoil you. Yeah. Send me a naked picture. Oh, yeah, I'll send you $150. Or, like, you know, just weird stuff like that. Like, I don't get that. I would never do that.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, they just don't respect themselves, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I guess they don't respect themselves and they're not confident and they're...
Yeah.
Yeah. My main thing that I've really been trying to focus on recently is, like, not necessarily... Because, for example, there was this one girl at the gym that I was, like, obsessed with, and I wanted to talk to her, and I was, like, trying to figure out how to get her, you know... talk to her and like get her number and whatever, and it was like this weird like quest of mine, like I'm gonna make this girl mine kind of thing. And then, like, ultimately, at the end of it, like, there's all these positive signs building up, and then, like, straight up just, like, rejected me when I asked her out on a date. And I was just like, yeah, and it was, like, kind of sucked. But I realized, like, along the way, I was kind of like, this girl was out of my league, sort of, you know?
That's bullshit.
But from my point of view, I kind of, looking back on it now, there's a lot of reasons why I don't even want to date this girl anyways now. But when I was, like, leading up to it, I was like, this girl's out of my league kind of thing. But I'm going to go for it, because if I don't go for it, then I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to be kicking myself later, just like I never went for it. And who knows what would have happened.
Yeah.
Maybe we'd be happily ever after kind of thing.
Yeah.
Who knows? At least I did it. And I'm happy that I did it, because, you know, I'm glad that I got rejected. But the weird thing is like, it kind of made me more, like, motivated to be like, well, I'll show her. I'm going to become the coolest guy ever. And she's going to be like, damn, wish I would have gone out with that guy. You know? I think there's a lot of that in a guy's brain that's like, well, I'm going to show her, you know, that whole thing. And I don't even know what part of me is, because I'm not typically that kind of guy that, like, wants to be revengeful or, like, something weird. But the positive thing that came out of that was I did realize that, you know, rather than trying really hard to be someone that I wasn't to impress this girl, is like try to become, like, the best version of myself to attract people that are going to be positive.
Yeah. People that are going to support you and, like, truly who you are.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like, I don't put on a face for anybody, because, I mean, not to sound conceited, but, like, if people think I'm hot anyways, then I might as well be my weird self. People are probably still going to think I'm hot, and then they either like me or they don't.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, physical, it is weird how much, like, physical appearance plays a role.
Yeah.
But it has, you know,
People
once you get into an actual relationship, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like, people are much more inclined to like a weird person if they're physically attractive.
Yeah.
Like, with my weird personality, if I didn't have a like, good body, I feel like people, like, wouldn't even pay me attention, because I'm super weird. But
I don't know. Yeah, that is an interesting idea. Well, we'll never know, because we're just speculating, but, you know, like, you never know.
In an ideal world.
But I like your personality. Like, I think you're cool, you know?
Yeah,
like,
but you've known me for forever.
That's true, but, like, you're cool, and even if you weren't attractive, you know, like, we're still friends.
True.
Because we're not on, you know, that was another thing that was interesting when we were talking about how your boyfriend was jealous. It was like, we've literally never had a sexual experience or anything. We're just, like, friends.
We've never been romantic in any sort at all. Like, he's a dope person, and I've known him for forever, and he's amazing, and I love him, and we are super cool. And, like, nope. But he was also just very, like,
lots of red flags. Super jealous.
Yeah, but very jealous, very insecure in himself.
Ooh.
Like, so, like, couldn't handle my giving attention to any other guy. Obviously.
Do you know the girl on Instagram? Her name is Yanni Diller, and she has like I think she has like 1 million followers, but she's basically famous. She's like a fashion blogger. Her name is Yanni, but it's spelled Janni. But anyways, I actually found her and got to following her, you know, because mainly girls follow her, because she's like a women's fashion blogger. But there's this thing called the Gumball 3000, which is this giant car rally where all these rich dudes, her name on Instagram is Yanni D. Yeah. How many followers does she have?
1.1 million.
Yeah. And her husband, his name is Yon. And Yon is a professional skier. But he also is just like super cool. He's got Lambos and he's just always constantly doing cool things. And now he's like, does like crazy vlogs on YouTube and all this stuff.
He has 674,000.
Yeah. And he's very high up on Instagram too. But anyways, long story short, they did this thing called Gumball 3000. They rolled through Atlanta, and I went and saw them a few years ago at this Gumball thing, and that's how I followed him on Instagram initially. And yeah. So anyways, but I follow his life on vlogs and on Instagram and stuff. And if you go on his Instagram right now, his most recent picture is him with all those girls. And and his girlfriend right now is
wife or girlfriend?
It's his girlfriend. They're not married, but I mean Might as well be. But it's so cool because their relationship is amazing because I follow them on YouTube on their vlogs. And it's so cool because, like, for example, Yanni, she went out to Coachella for, like, the whole weekend and, you know, was hanging out with all these super attractive men. You know, apparently she was talking about how she helped some celebrity, like, tie his tie or something like that at some after party. And Yun is so comfortable in their relationship, he's not jealous. And he mentioned that. He's kind of like, I feel like typical guys would be so overprotective and so jealous that she's hanging out with these, like, celebrities that are, you know, way richer than him.
She's gorgeous.
And she's gorgeous, you know. But their relationship is so amazing because, like, on that picture of him with all those girls, the last hashtag says, like, what does the hashtag say? It's something about being jealous or something.
Proof that Yanni is cool, not jealous girlfriend.
Yeah. And so, like, literally, they're at this beach right now. I think they're in, like, Turks and Caicos. And they're literally there with these gorgeous models, like
hashtag
Instagram models.
I can be Yanni's +1 on more trips like this.
Yeah, literally. And so Yun is getting to hang out because he was the +1 on this trip that was funded by some company. You know, it was like a sponsored trip. And, you know, their relationship is so amazing because he's not jealous of her and she's not jealous of him, and they spend a lot of times away from each other, and they're traveling constantly. They're Swedish originally and they live in Monaco now. And, like, they're the craziest life. Like, follow him on YouTube. You'll see.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I'm looking at their page right now.
Like,
it's so crazy.
Yeah, and they have the craziest pages. But that's the kind of relationship that I want, is, like, one where we're both mutually successful and both mutually, like, doing our own thing. But at the same time, I'm not jealous at all, and she's not jealous at all.
And you can both be awesome together.
We can both be awesome together. And, yeah. I think
agree.
that's the
key
thing.
to success, for sure.
Yeah.
Not being crazy dependent on each
Exactly.
other.
To kind of move off the whole relationship deal, got a second bottle of water. Come prepared. I'm always thirsty. But one thing that I was thinking about earlier when we were talking about the human figure and, you know, nudity and whatever, what is your take on body augmentation and all that kind of stuff? Not like piercings and stuff like that, but for example, you know, breast enhancement or facelifts or...
I would never do anything like that.
I know you wouldn't, because that's just not you, but, like, what's your, you know, stance on it or whatever?
I mean, that's more of a health question. I just think that it's super unhealthy and unsafe, and I don't think anybody should do it, because why would you put silicone in your body?
Yeah, like a foreign object you're literally just putting in your body.
Like opening up your body to bacteria and disease and all the things outside, putting in silicone, and then sewing your body back up with all of those things just flooded in really quick when you opened it, and sewing it all shut.
Yeah, I'm not
into it. That just seems terrible.
I'll go on record right now, I'm not into fake tits. But if you are, then more power to you. But it just kind of freaks me out.
Oh, yeah, no. Like,
have you
seen that show Botched?
What'd you say?
Have you seen the show Botched?
Never seen it, but I've seen a lot of botched surgeries and messed up stuff.
That's an entire show about that.
The funniest thing to me is butt implants, because it's like, dude, you can just do squats.
I know.
You can build a butt. You can't build boobs.
At the gym with butt implants. I'm like, dude, you can tell your quads are tiny in comparison to your ass. Like, you're obviously not.
You look like a grape on toothpicks, dog.
Yeah. Like, if your quads aren't big and your ass is that big, then something's not right.
Tell them.
Yeah.
For real. Like, as a dude, it's gross to me. I don't know.
I could never have... I mean, I don't really like boobs anyways. I have small boobs, and I love them. And if my boobs were bigger, I would be very upset. So...
Why is that?
I don't want boobs. It's lumps of fat hanging off of your chest.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what?
It's a status symbol, though, Elizabeth. You could probably get out of some traffic tickets or something.
I mean,
Elizabeth.
I can push them up and get things out of them, but
that's true.
I know it's confusing because I have boobs hanging all over my wall. All of my art is naked ladies, and I think that boobs are beautiful and I love them, but not huge ones. For me personally,
Just like the massive pendulous
Yeah.
They kind of get in the way, I feel like.
For real.
They're inconvenient in a lot of ways.
Cardio is so hard with big boobs, I feel like. Well, I don't have experience in this, but it looks hard.
Yeah, just knowing people with it, can cause like back problems and stuff.
Back problems for sure, yeah.
It is also weird how like people, I remember at Norcross like hearing girls talking about how they were like trying to eat more so their boobs would grow.
What?
Yeah, it's weird.
People did that? That's so weird.
I heard some for lack of a better term, just some ghetto chicks that were trying to get some.
That is so strange.
Bigger butt and bigger boobs,
I've never
and they
done
were
that
just
before.
trying to overeat.
It was quite the opposite when I was in high school trying to be a ballerina.
Yeah.
Super tiny.
Yeah, before we started this podcast, we were talking about like your diet and stuff. I feel like people have a lot of misconceptions about diet and like eating sugar and all this stuff. And you were talking about how you eat a very high fat content, and I do as well.
People get freaked out by fat, but fat is energy.
It is.
Yeah, fat is sustainable energy. Sugar is quick energy.
What do you think is the most like the highest misconception about all that and like dieting? And
fat. I think that fat is what is judged the wrong way, and processed things. People will eat so much processed, like quote unquote diet food, diet soda. Oh, I'm being healthy. Like lean cuisines. No, you're eating heavily processed, chemically made food.
Has trans
genetically
fats, probably.
modified, trans fats, processed sugars, all of this stuff. Like eat things that grow. Eat I'm weird about meat too. Like I do eat meat. I was vegan at one point, not anymore.
Why did you stop?
Because I needed protein. I wanted the protein.
So your thing was like it wasn't practical.
But it wasn't practical, and I was eating a lot of carbs when I was vegan.
It's hilarious how many fat girls are vegan.
That
sorry.
too. Oh, I know. No, I agree with you.
Like, no shit, carbs are vegan. You can eat a muffin.
Yeah.
I'm eating this vegan cupcake. Oh my
god.
Exactly. That's not vegan. Doesn't mean
but you
fucking
can eat a ton
healthy.
Of sugar. Yes, that's
just
the
means
thing that
not
drives me
an
crazy.
animal.
There are people that are vegan that are very healthy, and there are people that are vegan that are very not. There are people that are vegan that still eat Oreos because Oreos. I mean, there's no fucking way that Oreos don't have anything that's made from animal. I'm sorry, like there has to be something from an animal in an Oreo, but they doesn't say there's no milk exactly in an Oreo, which raises the question: what the hell is inside of an Oreo?
What is the cream?
I don't know. Please,
sugar and some
tell
other
me.
processed weird shit they came up with in a lab to become addicting.
But yeah, no. So I eat high fats, high protein, and vegetables, and I eat sugar from fruits. I don't eat any processed sugar. If like I want sugar in sometimes I make matcha tea and I put coconut sugar in it. Coconut sugar is the bomb. I love it so much.
What's coconut sugar? I've never heard of that.
Oh, really? Well, we can walk into my kitchen after this and you can try some because it is so good.
So it's sugar extracted from a coconut?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it extracted from the milk or something? Or how do they?
I'm not quite sure. We're going to have to look into that. I don't know.
But like when you look at the ingredients is like coconut sugar. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's one thing that I've been really aware of recently is looking at labels. Not looking at necessarily the calories and not necessarily looking at, oh my gosh, look how much fat. But like looking at the ingredients list. And if I see something that has like 30 ingredients, what the fuck?
Oh yeah. I don't really
Why?
eat many things that are processed. The most processed things I eat I do eat protein powder. I eat vegan, I eat Vega. I use Vega protein powder, the brand. It's got a bunch of vegetables.
I've used that. Isn't it soy protein?
No, I don't use soy protein.
Is it green bean? Where is it from?
It's legumes and rice.
Beans, rice protein, nice.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, soy protein I've heard can be...
I don't consume soy protein.
Why is that?
It's high in estrogen and it can mess up your hormone levels.
Interesting. Yeah, I've heard that people kids that eat a lot of soy milk and stuff like that, or drink, I should say, can develop a lot of weird problems.
Yeah, it messes up with your hormones. But I drink almond milk and mostly coconut milk. I am a huge advocate for coconuts. I eat coconut meat. I use coconut sugar on occasion. That one's not so much. And I drink a ton of coconut milk, like high-fat coconut milk, not the watered-down stuff you get in a box. like
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of times when
coconut
I don't
milk.
really. I've tried the Vita Coco and all that like watered down coconut milk stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm not the biggest fan.
No, I mean coconut milk's fine, but I like the thick fat has risen to the top canned coconut milk.
I don't think I've ever even tried that.
Oh
I
my
need to
God.
get some.
Oh my God, it's so good. And sometimes it's thick, sometimes it's thinner, sometimes there's chunks in it. It's all different because it's all natural and it's just coconut. So I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, every single can of coconut milk that I get, and it's been a lot, has been different. And yeah, it's all really good, even if it's supposed to be chunky. So just accept it as chunky.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's amazing. I eat it with a spoon.
That's awesome. So like, for people out there that are considering going vegan or like you weren't being a vegan for ethical reasons. You were being a vegan for pure dietary reasons.
Slightly more so selfishly than ethically. I mean, I got weirded out by stuff. So this is the thing. I only eat sustainably sourced, all organic meat.
How can you be sure?
Like I won't eat meat at a restaurant unless they tell me that, or it's advertised. So I don't eat at restaurants very often.
Yeah.
Because I won't
neither.
eat unless the meat. I'll eat fish that's not all craziness, but I won't eat chicken or beef or pork if it's. I don't eat that much pork anyways. At any rate, any of those I don't eat unless it's sustainably raised, grass-fed, all organic,
Yeah.
cage-free.
And so for that reason, is it because of health reasons or is it because of like the ethical thing where you don't want the animals to be in suffering?
I
or
mean both, but the thing is, the animals are going to die regardless, but think of all the bacteria that's spread around in a chicken coop. Okay, so have you ever seen any of the documentaries on Netflix, like Forks Over Knives?
I've watched some weird ones. One that I watched somewhat recently, Cowspiracy.
Cowspiracy, yeah.
That was a good one. Actually didn't finish it because it got so redundant.
Yeah, they are.
And
they do
the
repeat
final
themselves.
conclusion of it is like, go vegan, which...
Cowspiracy is all about veganism. Forks Over Knives is pretty vegan. What is that other one?
There's an interesting thing that's coming out. There's an interesting like form of research that's been coming out that's talking about how, because essentially the reason why these ethical vegans want to go vegan is because they don't want to cause pain or suffering or harm. They say that, we're humans, so we have the choice to eat vegetables and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And there's tons of evidence coming out that is showing that vegetables freak out when we kill them, like as far as a pain level. Like there's actually a response. Like when you, like there's chemicals emitted when you cut certain vegetables that, are gone long after you don't cut them. Like for example, broccoli, when you eat it raw and bite it, it's actually like healthier for you because there's this kind of like anti-predatory stuff that's like emitted when you bite into it rather than when you're eating it cooked or like it's been sitting on a shelf for like a really long time or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there's other, and basically we're saying like vegetables are dumb so we can eat them.
Yeah.
But also there's no way that when you're eating produce from your grocery store, the animals were not harmed in the harvesting.
I know.
In the harvesting of your corn or whatever the hell. Like, you cannot.
I agree with that. There's no way to
Okay, yeah, there's no pesticides. But think about all the, ground nesting birds or, chipmunks or squirrels or whatever are living in that corn.
Yeah.
And then when that combine comes and processes all the corn and picks it all up.
And that's why, like, being an ethical vegan is, like, so difficult. Because, you're going to be a
you're growing your own stuff and you're not killing any of the animals that are killing your vegetables. Because that's another thing. When you start growing your own vegetables in your own garden, you're going to have problems with animals and bugs and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to deal with that.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And people, do you know Freely the Banana Girl on Instagram? Her name, God, I don't even know what her real name is.
She's vegan.
Crazy vegan, like
probably why I don't follow her.
She makes these videos on YouTube, and she's got thousands of followers. Makes these videos where she will like call out celebrities and stuff on not being vegan, and she's very like pinpointing like you're a bad person because you eat meat and like I can tell you where to go and how to get there because of your meat consumption and stuff like that. But she's crazy. She's got, if you're interested in veganism, look her up because she has crazy opinions on it.
Seems highly problematic that she's calling people out.
Yeah, no, she gets like crazy responses and stuff.
I guess people get kind of like how people get super heated over like abortion, you know, because they're saying that you're killing something unnecessarily.
Yeah.
People can get kind of heated over that because they love animals so much that they think that you shouldn't kill any animals.
Yeah, she gets super crazy heated, and she's just, I mean, like, there's just no way to not be
vegan.
vegan. Like, contradict yourself in it. But honestly, I mean, that's religion,
it's really
too, when you get down to it. It's like everything. Like,
and you can argue that, well, at least if you're not intentionally eating meat or killing animals, you're doing your best and you're doing your part to not kill them.
But so what about
your
so you can't wear leather belts? What about your clothes? Do your clothes have any
yeah, and like hardcore vegans, they won't wear any leather, you know?
Yeah, but like, do you think it does? I mean, I honestly don't know. Is there any animal products in the production of denim? I don't know. I can't imagine. Like, what about the machine that is used to make your clothes? Did it have any sort of animal? So I mean,
did it have a leather strap on it? There was like a belt that was
like,
running.
How far are you going to go? And people are crazy about this stuff. There's no way to be totally great with that.
I think another thing that people want to do is they want to feel mightier than you and they want to feel better than you and call you out for being, well, I'm a better person than you because this, and you're a shitty person because this.
Yeah, I agree.
And, and another thing that people want to do is they'll kind of like do this whole virtue signaling thing where they're like, how can you possibly be talking about this when this is happening?
Yeah.
How can you possibly be talking about animals being killed when black people are being murdered on the streets, bro?
Yeah.
How can you possibly be worried about that, bro? You know?
There's way too many things to worry about in the world.
And like, and then you could take it a step further. Well, how can you be freaking out about black people living in a free country being killed when there's black people in Africa being
children
being killed, or they don't have access to clean water? What are you doing to help them?
Yeah.
You know, what are you? You know, what about the freaking? There's always another issue to one up other people.
Yes.
Well, how can you possibly be talking about that, bro? When our world is dying, and we need to figure out a way to move to Mars.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like, you can always one up someone on
issues.
You can. Exactly, and I think you have to pick your battles, and I think that's highly...
That's why I don't get super worked up about any of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't get worked up about it either. I think it's kind of pointless a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
And there's this thing that's been going around so much, especially regards to like Black Lives Matter and stuff, where, you know, I have nothing against Black Lives Matter, against the phrase, against, you know, the organization as a whole. There's a lot of bad things that they've done and a lot of terrible ways.
Matter? It's like the feminist thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and I can see here's the thing is, I have no problem with you saying Black Lives Matter as long as you also don't disagree with, you know, White Lives Matter. You know?
Yeah.
But as far as, you know, if you're resorting to violence to further your agenda, then no. But okay, so let's say Black Lives Matter, whatever. But, you know, that's cool, and you can say that and do that and whatever, but I think you have to be on the same page with everyone. It's like, yo, everyone matters, and you know, oh, well, how can you even say that when this is happening? And this is a phrase that's come up so much is, I think it's like, in times of oppression, those who are silent are taking the side of the aggressor. Mm-hmm. And I somewhat agree with that statement on a lot of points, because it's like, yes, if you're standing idly by while, like, for example, if, you know, I see someone getting raped, you know, and I'm a bystander and I don't do anything, then sure, I'm taking the side of the aggressor.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about an insanely complicated issue that has deep-seated issues, and, you know, it's not an easy problem to fix. It's not just like,
opinionated and everything.
Yes, we can change this with the flick of a switch.
Yeah.
If white people would just agree that Black Lives Mattered, then all of a sudden we'd have no problems.
Yeah.
It's not true.
It's not that simple at all.
And you can't just say this blanket statement of, in times of blah, 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 if you're standing
yeah,
by,
like, okay, you're not saying that Black Lives Matter.
aggressor.
That means that you think that Black Lives
because
don't
you're
matter.
not making a Facebook status about this guy being killed, how can you live with yourself, bro? You're not even standing up, bro. You're not even going to march with us, bro.
Then it comes into, so is making a Facebook status standing up for something? Is that really like doing
Keyboard
something?
warriors.
Like, no, not at all. All that's doing is you typing something out, sitting on your comfy little couch, and not getting anywhere with it. I don't know. The whole social media as a way to promote yourself and promote or change the world or whatever is bullshit.
Exactly, like social justice warriors. And it kind of goes back to like this whole, I like to think of it also as another way where, you know, people go on these like mission trips where they're like, oh, we're going to go to Guatemala
I
and
feel
build
weird about
this
mission
thing.
trips too.
It's like, why do you have to go though? There's already mission groups.
Why are we
there.
giving you thousands of dollars?
Why do we need an 8th grader to go help these people?
Because
You're
it's not
qualified
for them.
in any way.
It's for the child to have the experience of helping someone.
It changed me, bro. When I went there and held that dying African child in my arms, it changed me forever. It made me not...
For 7 days that I was there.
It made me really put into perspective, like, my mom took away my phone, and it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, like...
I drank tap water instead of my Brita filtered water.
Yeah, like, my mom got mad at me the other day. Like, you know,
Yes.
it's just so... That's why I think that all that stuff is such bullshit a lot of times. It's like, why do we need a bunch of white people from America to go over there and build a house for you?
I think that it's helpful if we send specialized people, like doctors
send a
or
carpenter.
whatnot. Or, carpenters. But, like, there's no reason for you to send, like, like it's just, no. I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
And, like, there's a lot of issues where, you know, like, we're going to donate all this stuff to kids. Or, like, we're going to donate all this food. And it's like, for example, when, like, we were donating all this crazy stuff to Haiti, there is such a surplus of all this stuff in Haiti that tons of businesses went out of business because no one was buying anything because everyone was getting stuff for free.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that. I mean, I believe it.
Like, you know, it's like, why would you go buy food when there's all these trucks coming in with all this canned food?
Yeah.
You can just get it for free.
That's so
So all
true.
these businesses, all the local markets went out of business.
Yeah.
You were, like, sending them all these shoes and, like, all right, it's a free-for-all. You can just... And, like, sometimes riots start. Sometimes people are killed over this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
There's got to be a good system in place. You know, and there are great organizations out there that, you know, do this effectively. And there's this podcast I listened to recently that was talking about effective altruism where, you know, it's not just a matter of giving your money away, it's where you should give it and what organizations are actually being helpful and which ones are just making a profit. And, like, or, you know, more than 60 or 70% of the donations are going just to keep the organization running rather than helping people.
Yeah.
And so there's big problems with that. And so people always just want to be like, well, dude, I donate to this. What are you doing with your money? And they want to, like, call people out for, like, not.
That's how my dad is.
stuff.
My dad, like, donates as a way of showing off. You know?
It's not the right reason.
No. Not at all.
Yeah, it kind of pisses me off. And a lot of, like, Christians kind of do that, I feel like. A lot of people that are in that community.
Look where I went. Where are you going this summer as a mission trip?
Oh, my God. We went to Guatemala last summer as a family. It was so life-changing.
Yeah.
It brought us together in so many ways.
We watched miracles happen. It was fantastic.
And then the last 2 days, we went to a resort. It was amazing.
Yeah. Then, like, we stayed an extra week after the week that we helped. We stayed, and we traveled around and stayed at a resort and went to the beach.
The food was really gross, so we went to McDonald's every day and got other food.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, gosh.
Yep.
Travel the world other ways, you know.
Donate your money to the cause that you would go on. Instead, give your money to those people, maybe. How much it would cost you to get there, just give the money to them. And then help people in your town.
I really need to raise funds because I'm trying to go on this mission trip because I really need to go change lives.
Exactly.
I'm really being called.
Exactly. I'm like, I don't even understand. I've never been on a mission trip like that before because I felt that exact way.
Yeah, me neither.
I couldn't ask people to give me money for me to travel the world for a week.
Yeah, and I can understand it's like if you're asking for money, yeah, exactly, like asking for donations and all this weird stuff under the guise of like being religious and I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways. Yeah. People want to like poo-poo on you because they want to act like they're holier than thou kind of thing. That goes with vegans. That goes with religion.
Literally
that goes
everything.
With, you know, even like the whole feminist thing. Like, bro, how can you even blah, blah, blah when blah, blah, blah? And it's like, how about you just let people live their life? You can choose how to live yours. And how about you not criticize other people on how they want to live theirs?
Yeah.
You know? Like,
unfortunately, that's not how the world works, but that's how things would be.
Yeah, and unfortunately it's not, because I'll also criticize people on how they live their life too, because, you know, a lot of people are doing dumb stuff. For example, going on dumb mission trips. I'll criticize you. You know, I'm going to criticize, you know, stuff that I find to be dumb. But, you know, and you have the right to do that. But at the same time, I think that a lot of it is just mind your own business, dude.
Yeah,
you know?
like...
Live your own life. Stop worrying about how someone else wants to live theirs.
For example, same exact concept, small scale. My 8-year-old students, if one of the students is doing something wrong, the other one will come over and miss like 5 minutes of class because they're trying to help. I'm like, stop. I'm the teacher. I can help. You do yours, mind your own business, do your own pliés, and they can do their pliés a different way, and it's fine. Like, do your own thing, focus on yourself, grow yourself, and let the person beside you fail or succeed in their own way.
Yeah.
And they'll learn their own lessons.
I like that.
That's the way that I see it.
Cool. Well, we've been going for a while.
We have
it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes or something almost.
I need to go to sleep.
Yeah. I don't want to make you stay up any longer. But is there anything else you wanted to talk about or say or promote, or where can people find you?
Follow me on Instagram.
If you want to give Elizabeth $150, I'll
show you my butt.
Show you a picture of her butt that
or
you
my
could
stomach.
Just find
on Instagram if you follow me.
Instagram if you follow her. But if you want a personalized picture of her butt that is not public, but she may post it later because of a contract that was signed because she has rights. So if you want a personalized booty pic or a stomach pic, then
follow me at EA Ward and
the
DM
Venmo
me.
Account is no, I'm just kidding.
Venmo me all your money.
Yeah, Venmo her all your money, and you can also Venmo me all your money if you want. I'll send you a butt pic as well.
Perfect.
You know? My butt
We've
is
got
slightly...
a whole business going right here.
Yeah, I've got a hairy butt. Your butt's not hairy, so...
You don't know that? You haven't seen... Well, no, you've seen pictures. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Andrew does know what my butt looks like. He didn't pay me, though. He owed me money.
Yeah, this is true. I owe you $150. But, so people can follow you on Instagram. It's at EA Ward, you said, right?
Yep.
And anything else you want to promote or talk about or anything?
No, that's it.
Cool. Awesome. So DM Elizabeth for any requests.
All the booty pics.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. All right, peace.
Peace out.
Wow. That was a long one, but I'm sure glad that we did it, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm so glad that Elizabeth was on the show, and I had a great time recording that one. If you want to follow Elizabeth, she's on Instagram at EAWard. That's W-A-R-D, E-A-W-A-R-D. So, slide into her DMs, everybody. I know that, I know she'll appreciate that. When I was at Elizabeth's house, I took some pictures of her artwork that was on the walls, and she is extremely talented, and I asked her if I could show you guys. So I put some, and she said yes. Obviously, I didn't, I asked her if I could show you, and she said no, but I'm putting it up anyways. So I'm putting some of Elizabeth's art in the show notes of the podcast, and if your podcatcher or your podcasting app doesn't support pictures in the notes and you want to check that out, you can go to my website and look at them. They're in the podcast section, and just find episode 8 with Elizabeth, and they'll be in there. And again, my website is andrewdeitsch.com. If you want to support the podcast, the best way to do that is to go to iTunes, or the podcast app if you have an iPhone, and find the Andrew Deitch Podcast. Leave it a 5-star review and give me some feedback in there. I sure would love to know what you like and how I can make it better. Also, by downloading all the episodes... That's a terrible Peter Griffin. Also, by downloading all the episodes... I'm going to stop doing voices. If you subscribe and download all the episodes, that'll help me out. You get the picture. I'm trying to get up in the new noteworthy section. If you've listened to any other episodes, you already know this crap, so I'm just going to breeze through it. If you want to follow me, go to my website. You can find links to all my social media accounts. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to bore you anymore with the sound of my voice. Episode 9 is with my friend... Graham Thomas, host of the Logical Insanity podcast on SoundCloud. We had a great time chatting it up, and he actually filled us in on a world exclusive right here on the Andrew Deitch podcast. He's launching a new podcast very soon, so stay tuned. Thanks for listening, everybody. You're the best. I am just slamming these episodes out, so stay tuned. More to come tomorrow. That's it. Bye.